humanity. Like I'm not excited. NASoW. Service to humanity. Service to humanity. NASoW. Good morning, all. It's a great privilege for us to be alive to witness yet another International Social Work Celebration. Let's do that together for God Almighty, for sparing our lives to see today. And this celebration, as we all know, is done all over the world. And because we are great social workers, we are all celebrating in Lagos State. Of course, many of us have been on this field. Many of our great social workers have been on this field for over 25 years. Some have viral experiences, and some of us are just joining. Some of us have just 5 years, and we're going to be discussing together, looking at the challenges, looking at how you have been able to move forward and still stay focused in this profession. What are the things that are still encouraging you to still keep focusing on ensuring that you are helping humanity? And we're also going to be looking at how best we can do better and improve on our services to humanity. So I really want to welcome you all. We have started our social work celebration last week rather. We started with a press conference, and today is the COLLOQUIUM, and we're also having our outreach tomorrow. Then also on Thursday, we'll have our work. The fitness work is very important. We're also going to be using to create awareness and also to keep fit as great social workers. So I welcome you all today, and I believe we are in for a good time. If you're excited that by the end of today, you're going to go back fresh, energetic, and ready to do great things in human work field. Please let me see your hands. They're going to be going back to say, yes, I'm proud to be a social worker. Recently, I shared on my WhatsApp platform that great men that the ones that marry social workers. And people were chatting me that, what happened? Are you serious? I said, yes, sir, because I love what I'm doing. So I need to share it out. So please ensure that you take picture of yourself today, celebrate yourself, and let people know what you're doing. Look at what she's putting on. Relax. See, she's so relaxed. Relax and the social worker. She knows she has about your let people know who you are. We need to let people know that we are great social workers and we love our profession and we want more people to come. If you don't have the heart for humanity, you can't do this work. So please, let's be relaxed. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's celebrate ourselves. Let's learn and let's ask questions. We have capable people in the house that will teach us and they will share their experiences with us. And we're going to have a wonderful time. So thank you all and welcome all for coming. Please share the link with your friends. Call your friends to join us that we have started. And at the end of today, I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and also the LOC channel for this occasion. We're glad to be here today and to see these beautiful faces here. And with what the LOC chapter said, just to relax, to discuss, and to do some beautiful things that will also help us to improve in our profession. So today is our day, this month is our month, and we are so proud to be here at this very place, this auditorium, this beautiful arcade. Please let's clap for ourselves to be here, to be here today. Service to humanity. Yeah, we continue with our program for this day, the COLLOQUIUM. If you are praying with us, please, we're on the item 5, where we are leading the discussant for this program. Please, we will be introducing and welcoming these, our highly reputable discussant today. Please join me as I also invite the protocol team here by bringing our discussant to the table. Please, on my list here, we have Mrs. Oluwatoyin Jaliola from the Social Welfare Department, and she will be represented by Mr. Wellington Olalekan Alufa from the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Please join me in clapping and celebrating this beautiful and handsome Mr. Wellington, representing Mrs. Oluwatoyin Jaliola from the Social Welfare, from the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Thank you. So joining this order is Mr. Moshood Akinola. Am I right? Mr. Moshood Akinola the HOD Agricultural and Social Service Department of Badagry local government. And we were represented by Mrs. S.L. Ewumi Dosumo, Director. Thank you very much, sir. You're most welcome. From the community development sector, following these, we also informed that we'll be having the 7 sectors in social work. So these are the discussants that will represent each of the discussion area. Please, in the order, please join me to welcome Dr. Adebowale Ayobade, Senior Lecturer of the Department of Social Prevention of Lagos. Our mama there, elegant, working, into the welcome. That's from the NASoW. Also, we start to join is Mr. Christopher Shadika, and from the AFSON, a medical social worker and member of the medical social worker in Nigeria. Okay, I understand that he's still on his way. He will still join us. All right, so follow Mrs. Ayodele Idowulawa, and the gynecologist, and she works with the for the elderly, and the sector is from the NGO. Please, let's join me to welcome Mrs. Ayodele Idowulawa. Most welcome, while we are waiting for, sorry. All right, please join me to welcome our very own person, our elegant, our professional, Mr. Michael Shonobi. Welcome, sir. Well, we have been enjoying your tutors all these years, and we believe this year we have so much of you today. Thank you very much, sir. All right. We also have Miss Victoria Oshibanjo, and for the social work student, that is the NASoW. She is representing the social work student and the SCG of the University of Lagos. And the students, so you are most welcome. So we can see today and right now we have the 7 discussants also awaiting Mr. Shadika. Please, let's start for our discussants as they will be dealing with every question and all that areas we need to know from this curriculum today. So thank you very much. You are most welcome. Let me hand over my mic to my able who come here today.
Thank you very much, and it's a privilege to have you all here from our side, from different sectors, so that we can have a holistic view about NASoW way forward. And like I said before, I hope I could ask my question now, but I'm sure my question, by the time I ask my question, you will not finish the discussion today. But I'm sure before the end of the year, you are going to all have answers to my question. And the question is this: as a social worker, which is most important? Your hand or your heart? Or your head? Heart, hand, or head? As a social worker, anybody? Which is the most important? Heart. Your heart or your head? Heart, head, or hand? Head. Okay, I'm hearing hand. Nobody's going for your hand. You are going for heart. But I'm not seeing any heart on the table here, and the heart did not set up this place.
The heart to propel the hand and the head to work.
Interesting dimension. The heart to propel the hand and the heart to work. So we don't need our head to think critically. To still come from the heart. I think she has all the answers. Please let's give her a round of applause. All that has been said, it's important that we have our hearts, our hands, and our hands at work. So every part of us is at work, just as we have every sector here, as we will wait for the medical team to give us their own view, but wants to just give them the mic to just give a self-introduction of themselves so we can get started. Thank you very much. I'll be starting.
Good morning, distinguished social workers. My name is Vicky Damonshi. I'm the former student of Department of Social Work, University of Lagos.
NASoW. Service to humanity.
NASoW.
I'm actually the vice chairman of NASoW University. I'm a practicing social worker. I am practicing in the private sector. I work by OIG firm. Foremost, I want to pay my indulgence. I want to pay my indulgence. Can we listen? I want to appeal to us for a minute's silence. Let it vanish. I want us to stand up as social workers. Let's observe a minute's silence.
My name is Ambassador Colon Sholawa, and the CEO of NASoW for the Date Foundation.
Hello, my name is Dr. Deborah from the Department of Social Work. I'm the subject of the Faculty of Social Sciences and the coordinator of our part-time degree in social work. Thank you.
Also, service to humanity. My name is Anufa Wellington Oladipo, the social welfare officer working in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development.
NASoW. Community practitioner from Badagry.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please, we would like to recognize our director, deputy director, Mrs. Felicia Adiolu, and the social worker from the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Also, Mrs. Omoberale, Ibowu, and the staff director of Labour Safety and Employee Awareness Center, Ministry of Youth and Social Development. At this junction, before this conference proceedings, we'd like to invite the LOT chairpersons. This is very lucky for the overview of NASoW. Thank you very much.
So, NASoW. Service to humanity. Service to humanity. NASoW. Okay. We shared this on the platform this morning. Please, can we all open our phone and let's check the agenda that was shared this morning. I want to quickly use this video to apologize that the absence of our chairperson, Mrs. Minister, she's not around. She's making for another official assignment, national assignment for NASoW. So as Mr. Olowo, who is also the treasurer, is also not available. And so as Mr. Matthew, our general secretary, all the way today. So I really want to apologize that you can't see them here. They're supposed to be here, but they're outside for another assignment. So please, have we opened our phones to the code of conduct, the code of ethics for social workers? It's on the platform. We're going to be discussing it because this is all, every profession, they have their own code of ethics. And if I might ask you, where we are working now, me, I work in the NGO. Before I joined the NGO, they called me after my process of acceptance and the rest. They said, okay, read this one. No. This is the rules and regulations, the code of conduct guiding this organization. Read it carefully and understand it. Most of us have all of that in our place of work. So also professions, the medical field practitioners, we have the bankers, the accountants, they all have their code of conduct. So who can tell me their own understanding? What do you understand by code of conduct? When you say code of conduct or code of ethics, what does it imply to you? We are breaking it down now. Actually, I won't spend more time on this, but I want us to look at it critically and understand it together. Who wants to tell us? What comes to your mind when you have code of ethics, code of conduct? Okay. Mommy, I'm coming to you, ma'am. The rules and regulations guiding any system or organization or a profession. Is this something you want to say? Okay.
How do you want the organization to progress?
So when we now say code of ethics for social workers, what comes to your mind? Code of ethics for social workers. So what comes to your mind? Okay.
It should be the rules, the regulations that will be guiding us as professionals. What will guide the organization or the group or even as a institution?
Let's put that in together for her. We all know we are still awaiting the passing of our bill. Abby? Does it not mean that without the passing of the bill, we should not do anything else? Our discussion we're going to go into that when we need to discuss. We can't behave anyhow. While we are waiting, we should be coordinated. There should be structures in place. There are some rules that should be guiding our profession. By the time the passing of the bill is done, and we are all great social workers, well known all over the world, and we are told in Nigeria, for instance, these people now they have legalized their profession. Then this can take some people to where? What this code of conduct can take some people somewhere. It can be used against them, but you don't know. Legal backing by law. If you fail to do what you're supposed to do and you do otherwise, they can take you up. Okay, please let's be together. The Nigeria Association of Social Workers, NASoW, Code of Ethics for Social Workers. Our members are bound by the following code of ethics and enshrined in the Code of Ethics of the International Federation of Social Workers, ISWD, in conformity the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. 1. Are you all there? Yes. 1. What does it say? Such as we are reading it, I want us to be looking at it in depth. How can we use our social work skills for humane topics, things that can lead as torture or terrorism? We are working with clients on a day-to-day basis. We interface with people in the community, in the family, the children, elderly, all the fields we work with, the people we work with on a day-to-day basis. How can you use that profession to terrorize or torture? Please, quickly. Just cite an example. What do you think could this statement mean in our day-to-day work? Because we're trying to internalize this code of conduct to our own level that, okay, I'm taking it down. Okay, this is an example of how I can actually do this. Using my skills to say, imagine someone working in, I work with someone, I love using social welfare. Imagine somebody coming from a local government. Okay, hey, please, there's a case like that, Gamio. Hey, which area are you? Which local government are you? Go and ask for the family social welfare or the social welfare in that local government. They say, are you sure they can help me? I want to deal with my husband. I want to put him in prison. I want to do this. I want to do that one. And I said, just go there, they will attend to you. And here they come. And the local government. Let me use our mama. Because I work with many of them. So they come to Burial. and they say, hey Joe, social welfare. Auntie Colloquium wants my help me. You're going to help me. They say I should come here and you deal with my husband. You will do this one. You know, it depends on our approach. Because she's coming with a mindset that she wants to deal with someone, she wants to do something. But you as a social worker, some can fall victim and go along with that person and say, yes, they're going to do that. But are we supposed to do that as a social worker? No. Because you will hear from her. You will have to calm her down. You have to make use of so many skills to even put her down before you can now do something. But let's internalize what we said by that number one. Number two, social workers should act with integrity. This includes not abusing the relationship of trust with the people using their services, recognizing the boundaries between personal and professional life, and not abusing their position for personal benefit or gain. Imagine if at that position, that woman has, okay, I want to give you money. And she will lock you up. Just lock him up. Are you the police officer? No. But somehow, because the police officer also respects you, you can decide to use some influence to lock the person. You know that. Am I lying? No. As I am now, I'm still a young girl in the profession. I have my daddies and mommies here. And I have our directors here. But as I am, even with the little position, small position that I have, I can mismanage, I can misuse it. Because I work with the police, I can call the CP, call the people, I want to lock this person up. Please, help me do that. They would have done the wrong thing. When the person now get us, we know how we see ourselves, that's gender. This man, just keep him. Is that right? No. So we are looking at how we can actually not use this personal position for personal benefit or gain. Some collect money, some collect gifts. Are we supposed to collect gifts? Please, ma'am. You can explain in one context. Because she's saying the right thing.
We can collect gifts,
but
if you don't collect, there are some things we call incentive, there are some things we call reward, there are some things motivation. Which one are you doing? If it is doing Christmas, it's allowed. If it is doing festive period, it is allowed. Not because, I'm working for you, I
come to your office and I want you to help me for something.
No, that one is very, very wrong. Integrity is key. So okay. That's
MC, someone at the back, let me give to the director. There's another microphone.
Somebody's just coming to me, and there's a matter of fact. So that the person will not, maybe you have a piece of matter, you have to connect everything. I'll tell you, I'm doing something. I'll tell you, I'm doing the work. You watch. It's not there. But it should be after. It should be respectful.
It should be when?
After your judgment will not be.
I like what she does that. Even if you lose, because even if you still collect after the intervention, it's good. I mean, if I don't say something, because when you doubt, okay. We are setting the pace for the discussion so that by the time you start the discussion, we are all ready for it.
It's important for us to know the basis of it. When it is a client, you are able to know if it is intended for you, to dance to the tune of the client. So my belief is that when you work with clients, like we have said, my colleagues have said that the gift is not the motivation for your work because you are being paid, and even as a social worker, aside from the remuneration you get, you have a calling to help. So your help is not based on what that person will give you to help. So when gifts come, try to read in between the meaning of that gift.
Use your inner eye. to know whether this gift is saying or it can land into trouble. Okay, let's go quickly. Social workers should act in relation to the people using their services with compassion, empathy, and care. What does compassion mean to you? What does compassion mean to you? What does empathy mean to you? And what does care mean to you? I don't want to come. Our guys. Okay, please. Someone at the back. What does compassion mean to you? We are told to act in relation to the people using their services with compassion.
My name is Odo Kozaya Amarini. When you talk of working with compassion or empathy, you mean what if you are in that situation? Would you like to be judged or treated the way you want to treat someone? Thank you.
Thank you. So working also with care, what does it mean? Compassion and empathy, are they the same? They are not. What does compassion mean? What does empathy mean? She does mention that putting somebody else's in your shoes, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes is what? Empathy. So what does compassion mean?
Means you're conscious of what they are going through, just having a sense of awareness of what they are going through.
I'm feeling sorry.
Yeah, sympathy and sympathize.
Yes. But we're told that we should have empathy, not sympathy.
No, sympathy, yes. So empathy in that case is you're feeling what they're feeling, but you're not becoming the person in the situation or the person in the situation.
So what does the place of compassion that comes in? Okay. You want to say something, man?
Let me just say something. When we're talking about empathy, listening to that client, to that patient at that time, you might see it that, oh, I've seen many cases like this, but there's no two cases that are the same. Individuality is very, very, very important. At that time, don't assume that you know the pain. Allow that person to express his or herself. After that expression, okay, you are feeling that pain here at your right ankle right now. What do you want us to do?
Therapy. Want to do therapy?
So at times it might just be give me a cup of water at that time. And you understand, and you give that person at that time. Not that as I'm going, oh, I've met Wonke, I left what I'm supposed to go and do for my client. I'm gisting with Wonke, and Wonke is waiting for me that, oh, I said, Mrs. Glass should please give me a glass of cup. You understand? While you are doing that at that time, you are putting yourself, the pain that you are not feeling it, but because he said this is the way I'm feeling it, you are just going along, but don't deny him or her the right treatment at that time because he's feeling that pain.
So you just cited an example of care that you can give while the person is with you. At times, the CPU, you give food, at times, immediate need. At times, clothing.
At times you do that if it is
immediate need. Yes, immediate need. That's one of the care. Okay, please let's move quickly. Number 4. Let's read that together. Social workers should not subordinate the needs or interests of people who use their services to their own needs or interests. I think we dealt with that. Number 5. Let's be together. Social workers have a duty to take necessary steps to care for themselves professionally and personally in the workplace and in society in order to ensure that they are able to provide appropriate services. How do you care for yourself? How do you care for yourself?
Self-compassion.
How do you do that? With so many things, I will be calling Mrs. Oshoko in the night. I'll say, she's not picking my call. Maybe that time she don't needed to cool her egg. I'll say, people you don't, they don't answer. They don't answer when you ask for them for any case. They don't answer. I'm not trying to put that for them because we all know the work can be so overburdening and make you feel down that you just want to take a break. But how do you care for yourself professionally, feeding yourself with knowledge? If I want to ask us, please, let's be honest. How many of us here in the last 6 months have personally said, I want to go and do a short course? whether it's 2 days course, 2 weeks course, 1 day course, to improve. Anywhere, whether it's physical or online. How many of us, let's be honest, please? Personally, not the one that ministry paid for you or your organization paid for you. You personally decided to. Thank you so much. It's one of the self-care you can do for yourself to improve your knowledge. Want to say something on self-care? Okay, after.
Let me just say something of self-care. Actually, we should have a routine for ourselves, our daily routine. See, this modern life is just deceiving us. We sleep late, we wake up early, we stay inside the AC, we are taking cold drink. We are not the way how we do things is very wrong. Let's have and inculcate the habit of good living. What did I mean by that? Let's eat healthy. What we put in our mouth, how healthy it is. Balanced meal, it doesn't mean that you have to buy all what it takes and go to shop right. We should eat and we should sweat that toxic out from our body. When you take green vegetable like okra, like ewedu, with semo, not that we're going to shop right to buy what is adding, giving us another headache at the end of the day. Sleeping well, eating rightly. I didn't ask you to sleep in 8 hours. You can use 5 hours to have a good sleep. But let's do away with our phones. It's a routine. Let's just imbibe it. Let's have that culture of eating right, sleeping right, and doing things right. We don't need to use 8 hours to sleep. We don't need to go to shop right before we hang out and enjoy ourselves. Let's eat that away and amala and we're good to go.
Thank you so much. So how do we care for others too? Because we are looking at it that we are caring for ourselves professionally and personally in the workplace and in society, in order to ensure that they are able to provide appropriate services. So what are the things that is not helping you, that is not making you give out your best, to be your best in this profession? Some personal issues that is hindering you, even when you go to work, you are transferring aggression. What are you going through? As social worker, we also need a place to pour out. There's a place to pour out. You can visit the counselor, you can visit a therapist. Don't say because I'm a social worker, I have arrived, I'm the one that can solve my solution. No, there are times you also need to pour out your own body, your pain, so you can get help, so that you can effectively help someone else. Okay, we have MC. We move to number 6 after that. Okay.
I think what we just say something. You said something about sleeping right. You're talking about how do you prevent your personal issues from encumbering your work. Now I know that some of us we are adults and then we have spouses. I want to say that in a various process, let's maintain the right. I know that in relationships, even in FSS stations, what you handle is husband does not, one of you might be have sexual intercourse with me as I require. I know that some of the way that we can unwind, as individuals, is that personal relationship in your intimate process with your spouse. So let's ensure that with your spouse you have the right relationship. Even if the other person wrongs you, ensure that you have the right relationship and then you enjoy sex as regularly as you can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I'll blend that. Ensure you are wide and relax with your husband. It's all right. We need to round up now.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Mrs. Lado. What I feel personally in that these 2 weeks I was at General Hospital. Igodo. If you don't have a strong heart, you'll be pleading, weeping for them. My daughter-in-law gave birth. In the ward, there was a lady She has no intake for 3 days. No money. So our breast was not coming out. The nurses were shouting on her, go and buy naan. No money. I was just going there for another case when I met her and her mother. And I asked the nurses, is there no organization that can handle this? Say, Mama, what do you want? So I now asked the old woman that followed me, please go and buy naan for her. How much are they selling it? I said, I don't know. So I went back to my daughter-in-law. How much is naan now? He said, Mom, how many cases did you solve? So I could only give her 1,000 and a bottle of Ragolis water. And I told her, somebody gave her the tin of food in my presence, another kitchen. So this is how the mix is. Then I now went to the nurse's private. Say the mother, if you push her, she will fall back. How can we feed that? Beyond that. I said, is there no organization within the hospital that can help this woman so that she won't die and the baby will not die? I left without being able to do much. But 3 days after, I went there again with my daughter. I saw this lady happy. How did you do it? Can I meet them? They come, they pay my bills, she was happy. I said, how is your baby? The baby is on admission at ISWD. I can't say it. But is that okay? Your baby is okay. So that type of thing disturbs me. Lack of financial. They are very low.
Okay. Please, we are proceeding so fast. We are on number 6. Social workers, we can check our program. We are still on time. Please, let's check our program so you know whether I'm over spending my time here. Social workers should maintain confidentiality regarding information about people who use their services. Exceptions to this may only be justified on the basis of a greater ethical requirements, such as preservation of life. So what they're trying to say here is that confidentiality is a very great thing that we all must uphold. They're going on. And the requirement or code of conduct of identity as social workers. You can't just release the information anyhow. But when can you release the information? Okay, that's been we understand. Okay.
I had an experience last week, Thursday precisely. It was quite disturbing to me. Now I'm on my field work in one of the organizations in one of the states not far from here. And in my office, it's a welfare office, and then we handle different kinds of cases. And then here we had a client who we're attending to. And then our boss, while she was attending to them, another client walked in. And then somehow, anyway, the bottom line of the matter is that she started telling the clients that just walked in about the clients that left and divulging their problems. I was hurt because that was breaching the ethical standard of confidentiality. And I didn't know how to tell her as my boss that she has just breached one of our ethical standards. And seriously, it has been hurting me since then. So how do I go about such kind of thing?
You will ask the question again when we are doing discussion. Because if you deal on that now, it's going to take so much. So let's move, please. But the bottom line is that do not break confidentiality except the reasons we have raised, threats to life and all of that, or harm others. So let's move. Number 7. Social workers need to acknowledge that they are accountable for their actions to users of their services. The people they work with, their colleagues, please, let's put our phones on silent, please. Please. They are accountable for their actions to the users of their services. The people they work with, their colleagues. Are you accountable to your colleagues? Yeah, she's laughing. Their employers, I'm sure we know that one. Their professional association, are you accountable to NASoW? Please, that phone, we're going to seize it though. Please, are you accountable to NASoW? Because they are saying here that you are accountable to your professional association, but because the bill, that's why it's possible of this. By the time the bill comes out now, they just seize your license. And to the law, and that these accountabilities may conflict. Number 8, social workers should be willing to collaborate with the schools of social work in order to support social work students to get practical training of good quality and up-to-date practical knowledge. The academia, they know. Because now they send their children, their students to where? To places where they can actually learn field experience. They can have hands-on learning, and they can learn and be there in those fields. So that's a beautiful one. So number 9, social workers should foster and engage in ethical debates with their colleagues. Ethical debates with their colleagues. How often do we even discuss issues? Look at the issue that Madam Bukola raised yesterday on the platform about our Miss what? What they call her? Miss Steph. She has the right to life. She has the right to live. It's I mean, we have a different opinions. That's another discussion another day. But for me, I know she has the right. Even though they're in prison, you can live a life. You can enjoy yourself there. So far, you're still within the prison walls. So some have actually brought her down, said a lot of things, and said a lot of things, even to the prison coordinators and the heads of prison. That why would they do that kind of thing? They do a lot of things there. They do a lot of, they play ball. Yeah. Please, let's leave that one. Let's move. Number 10. Let's read together.
Social workers should be prepared to state the reasons for their decision based on ethical considerations and be accountable for their choices and actions.
Let's pause. Are you really accountable for your choices and actions? The comments that you see daily, you know the best practices, you know how you're supposed to attend to them. But are we really considering? Are we taking the look? Are we looking inwardly and critically saying that dissecting the case that this is how? Do we even understand case management? Do we even know how to handle? Or how else can we do all of those things? So please, I want us to rise on our feet. We're just to raise our hand like this. Great social workers. Great. If you are not great, don't put your hand up. If you know who you are. Great social workers. Great. Okay, please, I don't want to. Let me, okay.
All right, please, as I want to confirm our connection to this, please, we just have the Mr. Shanika, sorry to so much Shanika, concerning the medical social worker, that's from the outcome.
Let's put our hands together for sector.
So we have the complete response right now.
Yes, we are going to that. So please, this one is very important to me. Oh. Let's raise our hands. You know what? Most of us that are married, we know we took vow, Abby. Yes. When we are going marital vow, whether you did the kind, you don't say vow not for the kind, you do vow for the kind now. You took vow, whether matrimony, whether in church or in the kind, you took vow. I understand telling yourself that you are standing up for your profession. That you are standing up for your profession, you are doing all you can in your power to ensure that you are giving your best at every point in time. So please, let's raise our hands like this and let's say to ourselves, hi. Hi. Please put your name. And they will care for you. I am standing up for social work.
I am standing up for social work.
I promise to uphold the ethics.
I promise to uphold the ethics
of this great profession.
Of this great profession.
I will do my best.
I will do my best.
And I will give my best.
And I will give my best.
At every point in time.
At every point in time.
Thank you. So help us, Lord. Thank you very much. That was quite interesting. And the song came to my mind. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Wow, wonderful. This little light of ours, let it shine. And we should not let it go down for any reason. We've learned a lot. Our mama that said sex. None of us that is not here. We are ahead. Ahead. No, I was what I heard is that. I heard is very. He said sex. Are we? Yes. The other one is song. You know, this morning I still sang. If I want to dance for here, nobody can beat me dancing. I don't want to try. I don't want to just show myself. So this morning I took lady friends. Any song that is okay, sing. Because our sanity is very key. Because if you are not careful, you can't look away from some things. You know, just like my mom, I told her that she herself, she's an organization on her own. She picks up cases every day. Somebody is about to commit suicide. Somebody just got pregnant. Somebody lost. I said, the family will be like, Mama, you really don't. If you are not careful, our sanity is very key. So for me, there are like 5 S's of all this code: sex, song, our social and emotional intelligence. Like you said, let's get courses about social and emotional intelligence. Because you are post social worker doesn't mean you won't have conflict. Are we not a fight? Because we all have different views to things. So we should, our sanity is also good, and socializing is also good. One of the NGOs I volunteer with, they are going to the beach on Saturday, and I'll be there live. Hey. I'm thinking of what to wear, but I'll be there. When you say beach, election beach, they'll be there live with my box shirt. Yes. So we just want to take a very big break, and immediately after the break, we just introduce ourselves and go straight to the collision. So with that break, we just use it to take pictures. Most of us here are women, and before our makeup starts falling apart. But everyone can say something that time that pains me. Said she pains me. I don't want to talk. Said great men marry social workers, right? How are the great women that marry social workers? I'm talking for myself. Everybody should know myself. So it means that it said great men marry social workers, right? So men should have married, so that married us, we should be proud of us too. Yes. All right. So we're going to short break, and I feel that time to take the first section. So we just do 2 in 1. Thank you very much. So let's use the.
We are going to use the recommended order photograph. Where we have the members of the IT1 is contact below. I think this one is going to go. Also to close with of the social welfare officers in the hierarchy at the this our paparazzi photographer.
Let's have the discussion first. For pictures. Like, I'm taking them home.
Also, members of the social welfare officers, we get you ready to take photograph with the members on the live table. So we'll be having all our discussants still standing while other members joining for the photograph. No problem. See why members will join you in the photograph. Yeah. Yeah, the social welfare to join the discussion in the photograph. Wow. It is an home advantage.
No, mo fẹ́ ó sì ń lọ àbí ẹ fílẹ̀ tó wà.
Please. Okay.
So please, we should have our discussion sitting while other members flank. I think what we're having is like that NYD because these are all these are paid. So we are doing that. Wow. NASoW. All right, we should be having the community development officers.
Hello. Sorry, madam. Okay.
The community development officers get ready after the social welfare officer.
And she's swag. Swag, don't do something. Yeah, you're proud to be a social worker. Do something, you know, you're a proud social worker, you know. Yeah, I love that. NYC progress. Discuss that, please don't leave. This is the permanent local government. Chairman. Okay. Please, this tea break does something for you. Something like. The food is coming.
Hello, madam. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sure. Please get ready. Medical social workers, please get ready. Discussants, speak seated. Mama, please, medical social workers, I'm sure, please. And you know what? And you mentioned, local government, I am going to stand up, please, to the back. Are you a discussant? I'm so sorry, but don't watch her. Okay, now we should get ready. Educators, are you sure you are?
All right, sir.
Last week, me, I want to become big lecturer. Yes, ma'am. I know that proposed to be lecturer. Last week, we don't have that studio. Please, let me take a picture that they're seated like this. Not last week, yeah. Type one, yo. She's the only one. Because they strike. Not they. Angel! Where's Angel? Please, let me follow the line. Yes, we are. Angel! Angel! I'm all over. I'm not money every time. Akọ. Bukola is not here.
Hello. Hello, ma. Hey.
Hello, ma. Okay. Okay, next. Student body. Private, please. Private. Okay. No, this is private, not student. Okay. Okay. Then we have students. Students. Okay. Students. Now, class. Not students that have graduated. Students. Who was in class? Madam, I'm a student. President. Students in class. Student president. Let's move to the center, yes. Spread out here.
Esco.
Only graduate school. Only branded schools. Social work. That's bullying. Yes, that's very slow.
Esco.
Come down. Let's take a picture. Oh, she comes out.
Okay.
LOC.
LOC.
Organizing committee for the social work LOC, you know yourself.
One person. All right. Thank you. I like that.
Thank you very much. Professor, thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. That session was a beautiful one. At least we're able to get to know ourselves, even from the NGO, from the private sector, from the ministry. Which other section do we have? Okay, local governments, education. So we don't have lawyers here. Is there any lawyer in the house? But by the time we are discussing, they need to have an idea of who I'm with. No lawyer is here. And I wanted to study law. I wanted to study law. It's not too late. No, for real, it's not too late. No, this I wanted to study law. I wanted to. But my mom lied to me. But when I grew up, I knew my mom lied to me. She said they used to kill all the lawyers. That time I was small. This my mom was when I was at 7, I went to spend people. Not do anybody wrong in my presence. They said you. It's as if you want to be a lawyer. They always kill lawyers. When I grew up, I realized that she lied. There's no chance for me to be a lawyer. All right, do we have teachers here? There's no teacher. I'm a teacher. No teacher, no policeman. Okay, all social workers are policemen. No. Okay. All right. So we'll just go straight to the high table to have our discussant. And today we just want going to very as much as possible. By the time we leave here, we can be better social workers. We can ask our questions. Some of the questions have come up during the code of ethics. So we're just going to start to get the view from the medical sector, sir, to know what's your view about social work in terms of what's the role you play and how important you feel the medical sector can help. Like you heard one of our participants ask about the fact that someone needed help, a mother that needed help at points of need. Although I was hoping that they would say the husband could help her. I don't know if that was medically right. Women that are having problem with breast milk coming out. But I'm sure a medical practitioner will help us. This is the role and involvement or how the medical line is being inclusive in the workers and the work of social workers. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yes, so medical or clinical social work operate. Simple definition, social work in an hospital setting. But that definition itself does not cover more. Because it's a setting where you have other disciplines functions. We are just stakeholders among several stakeholders. So it's a unique sector. Unlike most sectors of social work, where social worker operates basically by him or herself, all the principles of the profession, you will discover that you are using your ethics, the other principles, the other standard operating procedures, and yet you still need to operate it where doctors and nurses are, physiotherapists, lab technicians, and so there's so many sub-disciplines in health. So in each patient that you are seeing, every one of them will need to impinge on it. So you have is it many cooks in one soup? But one way or the other, you will need to generate that soup. It has to be good. So the challenge, it puts you in a very unique environment. There's pressure on you to perform. There's massive pressure. You don't relax. The nurses are screaming, we need this. The doctors are screaming, we need this. The lab needs that. And the challenge at times is that because everybody comes from a viewpoint of different professions, there can be a lot of conflict and tension. So generally, discover that if you don't know your onions in culture, you'll be in trouble. You'll be in trouble because somebody's pulling you there. That one is pulling you there. So you need to look at that same case that the doctor has seen and say, okay, this is the limit. And many times the other people will not see what you have seen.
Sexual assault is one of them. Identity crisis is
environment. That means that you yourself must also have good knowledge of medical practice. You have to understand medicine to an extent. If you undergo any training in medical shop, it is concise. One of it is you need to go to physiology, these things, anatomy. So if you look at the human body, you should be able to look at this because when the doctor has written, you should be able to interpret it. You should be able to have a guess, and it's more than a layman's guess of where the doctor is heading to, where the nurse is heading to, where the lab is heading to. You understand? Let me give you an example. You see a PCV, patient comes with a PCV of 18. The doctor does not need to tell you you are facing a crisis. If you are now waiting for them to now write social worker, sit down, let me tell you what it means. They don't have time. They only have multiplicity of patients. So you yourself must know that with this PCV, there's trouble. You yourself must know that with this diagnosis, this is likely what will take place. Because every medical diagnosis has a psychosocial implication. So you will need to know every one of them. You know, that's why it's we are starting. It's always good to start, taking baby steps. But really, if you interact with clinical social workers approach, you will discover that they are vast. Just have to. Yes, you're not a clinician, but you need to know in depth. So, what is the pressure that we feel? I mentioned part of the pressure we face. The part of the pressure again is that we don't have a bill. And to us, in clinical social work is a major disaster. Let me explain. Somebody, let me say that the medical doctor is coming from the aspect of the law. He has a law backing his practice. And the law that based on that law, there's a council, medical and dental health council is set up with specific laws. So they know a lot of their limits. You know your limit, but your limit is not backed by the law. That's what I'm trying to say. Then two, you have anybody can just feed into your practice. Somebody can just wake up and say I'm a medical shop and say, where did you medical? You're not even sure. So in both dimensions, the person is claiming. Because there's really no bill, the person is right. Because as long as there's no bill, anything goes. You have an all-commerce affair. You know, so, okay, sorry.
We'll get back to the issue of treatment. So let's get to what
Since I don't study social work, now I will go
social work from the point of the community development. Basically, we are looking at all efforts geared towards the improvement of social and economic standards for the particular community. And when that one is done,
not even a form of helping the
a particular community, sink boreholes, that in fact, those people don't have problem with water supply. Rather, it could be another thing. If I want to take my own area now, where I live as a case study, you know, a lot of people have problem with flooding. And you know, we made effort just to make sure that we employ the mechanical shovel and whatnot. At the same time, we create another problem, which is how do we now make culverts over there so that people can pass into their own communities. So now, when the government is coming, you know, one of these political leaders in the community just felt, you know, they need to do something. Alas, what they brought was actually what we don't need in our area. So in community development, the best thing solve the problem from the people so that when they have it, they will be happy that the problem is solved.
All right, thank you very much. We're already moving to the next section of progress, but for now, we want to look more of the role that you play in social work. I'm sure that's actually helped us in great ways. And from the social welfare, I would like to ask you, what's the role that you play? If there's anything that comes up, can we come to you? Or if we come to what will be back to
Let me recognize my senior colleague in the ministry. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. It is generally said that on easy lines, the heads are welcome. Social welfare department has the sole responsibility of coordinating so many sectors, so many phases of social work. And don't forget, they say Lagos State is the cradle of Nigeria. It's a mini Nigeria. So all the social problems we want to talk about in Nigeria is in Lagos. Therefore, social welfare department of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, we know that a lot of things ahead of us to make sure that we provide the leadership, we provide the policies, and we provide the laws to ensure that all sectors working within social welfare program or social work services are able to do their work very successfully. For example, in the social welfare department, we have the child protection, we have family services, all the local governments in Lagos State. We have so many correctional centers, home for the elderly. And we are very aware that this is a very onerous task, but the government we are not going to look back because we have decided to march on to make sure that we provide for the vulnerable in our society, the elderly, the children, even people with disabilities. So what I'm saying in essence is that as a ministry, we have a mark, we have a goal, and we have a responsibility that we are promised to deliver to the people. Irrespective of the challenges, though enormous, you agree with me, so many people coming around to Lagos on a daily basis, so many social problems, but we're not going to look back. Wow. So in saying all this, I want to say that the ministry, we are doing our best through recruitment of social workers, even though it's not enough. But pumping so many resources, money, even though it's not enough, but we are not going to look back.
Yes, marching on. All right, let's march on to the next person. Mario, go to ensure that social care.
As an educator, I'm coming from the University of Lagos.
Princess Applekites. Are we not here? Yeah. Are we not from the Princess University? University of First Choice. Yes, although I know that University of Ife. I wanted to. If you see the ambience there, the environment is enough for you to feel like leading.
Great effect.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Social work education is an emerging in Nigeria. It's an emerging discipline. Okay. Social work education is an emerging discipline in Nigeria, unlike other nations whereby they are well grounded. And that's why we are still battling with having our big in place. We don't want the you see, for you to come to the university to read social work, a lot of people feel that what is social work? So initially, some of our students are so shy to tell people that they are running social work program. They tell people they are sociology, but it was domicile in the unit of domicile in sociology department. And it started with the diploma program that ran for over 40 years before we started the degree program in 2007. And since we started running the degree program in 2007, you can see that a lot of them are jam casualties that are forced into coming to the department to read. In fact, when they ask some of them, what are you reading? They tell people they are reading sociology, when actually they are reading social work. But the trend has changed. I have 3 degrees in sociology after my PhD. But I tell you that I chose to cross the department of social work, and I had to go and get my master's in social work again because I can see myself more of a social worker than that of a sociologist. And the beauty of social work is when you are retired, you are never tired. Yes. You work on social work discipline till you bring your last. You are never tired. You help humanity. You help humanity. Moreover, as students, some of them are in this college. They are all looking at it. They are doing what we are very proud of them. Both home and abroad. A lot of our students have been fantastically well in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Australia, all over the world. We don't have a pushover students. They are making us proud. And any time from now, we've made progress so far. The department now is about 3 years old as a full-fledged department. It's about 4 years old as a full-fledged department. And I can tell you that our postgraduate program is on course. We are working so hard on it that come next time, we are going to have our PGD, MSW, MSc in social work, MPhil in social work, PhD in social work, and we are encouraging people that have masters in social work to come on board. We need educators. We need lecturers. We are looking for lecturers in social work. We are just not there. And now, no more, it's not going to be a Tom, Dick, and Harry affair again. You must have a degree in social work before you can teach a social work program. And there's an association to that is seen to it that there must be a qualified educator. And you are all professionals. As educators, we are having some, okay, when we get to challenges.
Yes, yes. Because I was almost excited when you said there was opportunity.
Because
I have my first degree in education, second degree in education, but I don't have any degree in social work.
You come for your PhD.
Okay, that's because the last time I asked, I like the progress you mentioned. Last time I asked, I was told I would have to come for the first. I'm like thinking at my age. Don't forget that I still have law to spot. By the time I just got through social work 4 years, then I'll start going for law.
Age is not a barrier to learning.
Okay, interesting. I like the progress you've made. So perfect, so much fun. Over to you. Thank you very much. We've heard a lot from the medical sector, from education days, from the community, and from the local government. We also want to get from the office, what is the thoughts or how inclusive is the past?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Yes.
I need that
I am
here.
the CEO of our main focus is to reduce suffering as much as we can. Taking us back. But in my own field, I focus on the elderly, 60 years and above. This elderly, we have a lot of challenges. We agree with me that the elderly are highly neglected in the society. They are isolated, they are lonely, they are abused, they are homeless, they are poor beggars on the street. So, for us to go in depth to solve their problem, we decided, and what is this purpose? We organize in the NGO. The NGO is divided into departments so that we can reach them to the barest minimum. So we divided our NGO into departments. We have medical departments, we have charitable departments, we have training, lifelong training, where we have our University of the Third Age. So in the medical, you know, everything about medical, everything is free unless what we cannot handle. What we cannot handle will be far. In the charitable services, we do all we can do to supply their needs. Raw food, food that they can eat, cooked food. We give them clothing materials. Each time we organize, because we celebrate yearly World Elders Day. So we give them uniform. And not only that, we move from local government to local government, to their communities, so that we are focusing at capturing local governments. The community. We started the program at the local government. We moved to Godway for local government. We later moved to Amuwo of local government, which program we have sustained in the local. We are now at the Godway. We are now at because we are already at the community. They have got our idea. We have sent our letters, and we have group of coordinators that coordinate each of the local governments at the community level. So we tend to reach the elders, help them to age gracefully as much as we can. And I want to use this opportunity to say, no one can do it alone. We need individual group of people, the government, and
let's give a round of applause people to help us. And I'm sure the personnel from the private sector would have all the access to that. So what has been the role of the private sector to bring in money that we have to help?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I work in the private sector. I moved from the public to the private sector. So with regards to the private sector, I work in the area of community relations and in the area of delivery of communities, what you call corporate social responsibilities, what you call corporate social responsibilities, or you call it community social investment as okay. Now, what the private sector can do is they can partner with NGOs and also with government to deliver programs that impact on the lives of citizens. And basically, in my own area, we do programs and the projects that impact on the lives of those within our area of operation. I wouldn't tell you that we're doing a program or a project for someone who is a Abeokuta. We operate in Lagos. We have some companies there that operate in Abeokuta. Basically, what we do is to look at the totality of their challenges, their problems, and then we engage them. When we engage them, they themselves will see what their challenges or problems are. Now, you also help them. You help them to prioritize. Meaning that you help them to choose the ones that have utmost benefits to them. Because at times, you might have this discussion within themselves. They don't know which amongst their list is the first thing they ought to do. If even we are to give it out as a project to a third party or contractor, the third party will basically carry them along. And it's for every plan there should be relations between the third party and them. And they must agree on what they want to do. At the end of the day, they are also taught how to maintain it. Because it's one thing for you to do a project. It's another thing for that project to be sustainable. That is where sustainability comes to practice. And also, we are also doing what we call a social impact. Because for every project, there ought to, or there is an impact. It could be positive or negative. But you need to draw it, you need to be able to get what the social impact is. So that the end user or the beneficiary will know what the social impact is. If it is negative, how are you going to ameliorate it? Or how do you want to minimize it? You have to discuss it with them. You have to let them know. So they know that what the project that is coming in its totality is a project that will impact on their lives. So I want to stop here.
Thank you very much. Impact is very key. I think what you said, study is good. It has to do with a lot of study, research, and that's what I feel. Being a student of social work or social welfare, is it called social work or social welfare?
Very social work.
Okay, social work. I'm sure that one of the things they go deeply into to help you to have a better understanding, to liaise with companies, get fundraising and all that. So you can be asked, what has been your role, even as a student, to ensure you get more students on board?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Social work being a practice-based profession and an academic discipline. With students, before attaining the professional status, it's compulsory that we get that discipline. So as students of social work in the University of Lagos, we are trained on the certain skills required to become professional social workers. And most times the opportunity we get in putting this to good use as students is on the field. We go for field trip visits, we go for field work practicum, 2 months, 3 months, and we get to explore different aspects of social work, ranging from legal aspects of social work to medical aspects of social work, school social work, amongst others. So that is one way in which we come in as students, apart from the various learning we do on our own and from things lecturers teach us in class.
All right, thank you very much. I've been an interesting section about what they do. I'm sure we've heard that one way or the other, fund is required, knowledge is required, And I'll just start from the medical practitioner. I had a case with a student indirectly that I felt was having a kind of, I don't know the term you call it, psycho pattern. Was when you ask him a particular question, is sir, the medical said, sir, okay, it says something. So I was having an engagement with a colleague. You know, sometimes you want to help and you need information from other people. She's a counselor. Although what she told me is what I'm bringing here. She said most of the time when you have cases of students or people that have psychological needs, it's even when you take them to the hospital for medical assistance, it requires a whole lot. That's in fact, the research says it's more expensive to treat someone that has a psychological problem than to treat someone that has a physical maybe problem or illness. I don't know, because talking about social work and the fact that social work seems like something should be free, right? Anytime we hear social work, okay, it's free service. Do we all agree? Social work means free service. Not totally. It's not absolute. But to an extent, when you hear social worker as a right, you feel, yes, help has come. I don't have to spend a dime. So, sir, a social worker brings someone based on the case, maybe a child has an abuse, or for one reason or the other, the child is having a psychological issue. The social worker wants to help, they don't have money. You're a medical practitioner, so I don't know the salary, maybe I'll think of studying medicine, but you might not be able to care. Maybe medicine, if I get the salary, no, the salary might encourage me to study medicine too. Yes, it might encourage me. But sir, when do we now get the balance? Looking at funds now to treat people that the social worker wants to help. How can we get funds to solve medical or psychological issues?
Thank you. Let me just say this quickly. From the small experience I have, no government can fully fund health. No government. Unless you are deceiving yourself. You can say you fund, give them Panadol. If you want to amputate the patients, give him Panadol for surgery, give him Panadol for malaria, and you have free health. But if you really want to, the cost of health is expensive. If those who are in or who have been or are in your school setting, you will know. Normal delivery is, what if there's complication? By the time you go to CS, from CS you may need to hysterectomy. You may get to mammectomy. From that particular place, that person may need what? To go to an ICU. Just one delivery, millions will flow. So in other words, it's not that health is expensive anywhere in the world. I'm not trying to speak just because I'm a government official. I am. But I'm speaking from all sectors of it, from psychiatric to, it's expensive. And I've been in management for many years. There's management, running hospitals. Looked at the step, even in Nigeria, it's even more expensive. Because of you need to diesel, so on, you want to do surgery and so on, procedures, there has to be line touch. So it's expensive. So what do we do? Which is the way forward? A social worker, I believe we as social workers were basically resources. So a social worker must, at that particular point in time, pick an arm of social work, which means advocacy. And I think my own kind of opinion is one aspect of social work that we're not really doing much in Nigeria. Social workers are not strong in the area of advocacy. And if we're going to generate change, we need to go massively into advocacy. You know, so we need to go into advocacy to be able to raise funds for cases like this. And in some of our sectors, I know, I will mention in the Bible hospitals now in Lagos, because of the advocacy of social workers, they treat patients. They don't have, if you pay your money, fine. If you don't pay, they let you go. I won't call the name so that people will not bombard. It's because of advocacy. They go out to communities and so on, source funds. They have donors, massive donors, they generate massive donor wealth. So that if patients come, because we have poverty in Nigeria, they come and they cannot immediately go to their donors, bring out the funds and treat them. All hospitals, all medical facilities in Lagos now do that. They have strong advocacy and they're building it more because we know the poverty situation in Nigeria. We're building them. So if there's anything you want to do, go to any medical hospital where you know that it's your worker there mention advocacy and it's why they will smile and because they realize that you're about to help them. So that's something we're doing to help in that particular realm. But to take it forward, I know there's health insurance. The health insurance is that you must eat before you can insure yourself. The level of poverty, about 70% under poverty is in Nigeria. People don't have money for this. People are thinking of survival, not of insurance. The health insurance actually should have been the way forward, but our poverty level is not allowing that to be very effective. But other means can be done. You can levy maybe major corporate organizations. Just some small, could be 1% of their profit. It could be 0.5% of their profit. So that these things can go into taking care of indigent cases. So that, like you said, when you come and you need to meet a psychologist, you need to meet a psychiatrist, you need to use a drug or the other. It will be available. So those things can go. But we need to build in the realm of advocacy too. The more you should spend into that realm, the more we can have funds to take care of our people.
Thank you very much. Since he has cleared that, I don't want to make a complaint, but I'm sure the person from the private sector will talk to us about funds. I went to the hospital for a particular job. It said it was not available, but I want to under my insurance scheme. But if I want to buy it, it's available. But my insurance under my insurance scheme, it was not available. Maybe I'll see the man in charge of social welfare to tell him the hospital, who can I that I was angry, I wanted to report. I didn't know who to report to. They said the drug was available, but not on the scheme. Can you imagine that? I felt bad though that day. You know, when you are feeling bad and you cannot cry as an adult. I wanted to cry, but I'm sure you told me where to report. So back to fundraising, the person from the private sector. How can we get this fund? Because for me, it said something key. If maybe like every company out there, the two pictures, they're the private sector, the two pictures, the other time. I don't know private sector. I know you're not raising your hand again. Okay. No, the rand was not like the way you took the picture. Let's private sector. No. Generally, private sectors. Okay, probably if we see how we say 5% of our income goes into social work. Social, like I said, the poverty in the land. Even me, the reason why I'm looking for insurance, because I don't have money to buy it. There's no, even if there's no maybe I borrow. So, sir, the issue of modeling, maybe like a modeling for fundraising, because money is needed for the adult care, for the social welfare. I want to emphasize more on fundraising. How can we bring money to the table, sir?
I just want to add to what Mr. Janika said. I don't know much about what's obtained about NASoW. The one thing I know for sure, which is still happening, which is still taking place at University College Hospital in Ibadan, is that they have a yearly house, and every year there is a fundraising activity for that house. What is it all about? Is for the indigent. From any part of the world that you come and you have a patient who's a family member, even you yourself, and you don't have the opportunity of coming to and fro, you can't afford the cost of treatment. Once you make yourself available to the medical social worker, they have a department. They will do an assessment first. So it's not that everybody comes and then they just give it to you. They will do an assessment. And when they are satisfied, then they refer you to that house. It is free. Then feeding, they give it to them, but not restraining. Give it to them. Then they also take care of other areas of your medical needs till when that patient is okay to be able to go. They still do it in University College Hospital. So I expect that first and foremost, our government they need to have a charity day or charity night. The essence of it is that they put funds not just from the private organizations, from private individuals, and that fund should be managed by people with integrity, people with knowledge, people with experience. For such cases, like she just said, someone who's having a psychological problem or someone who's having a mental issue. So such funds, just as you know, in Lagos State now, we have Lagos State Security Trust Fund, and it is being managed by Otowori. and some other people. So we need such a fund in Lagos State to help Lagos State government to cater for the health needs of the indigent. Today, you are a middle income person. You never know, tomorrow you might be indigent. Because if someone is having a case of a terminal illness can wipe away all that person's savings, and the person will move from the level of middle income earner to a poor person. So what I'm advocating now is Lagos State government, they need to take it by the horns. They need to initiate it and start it. We need it. Then with regards to the private organizations, you have some companies, they have foundations. Like you have Dangote Foundation, you have MTN Foundation. They have some budget for medicals for those who are indigent. And you also have some missions, like the Rich Center of God. They also have their own budget for medicals. They have their own rehabilitation center. They also have some hospitals that they related to. And so if you can identify those bodies, they are there to render, but they will do what we call assessment first. They did not throw it at you and say, before come and take it. So that's how it works.
All right. Thank you very much. You said something key, assessment. So I work with the community affairs person. Is it true that some communities, they don't want help? Can that be true? I heard of a community, they wanted to install transformer, and they said they don't want transforming. And they should bribe if their money. Or is it true some communities, they don't want roads? You do some part of the road, they say no. They don't want to because they to pass through my shop. So they prefer the roads like that when you take away their shop. So I'll come to you. We talked about funds. When this fund comes and the assessment is said in terms of companies coming in and all that, we have some situations whereby the community leaders, they don't want, or they are not even in one voice. Is it possible that I feel, that place, what has been your experience, sir, in terms of impact the community level? Is there collaboration with your people, or you maybe the leaders just take decisions? What has been the impact, sir? Do you want help, sir? Or there's no poverty for them?
You make me laugh. Because in Nigeria, no boat, no area, no sector that will not find hope. Just let me digress. In my place in Badagry, when this Lagos safety social program came up, I just went to communities and taking their data and working for student data. See, they got to a particular place. The person used just 4 pillars and 4 poles. We rent his house. Unfortunately, 2 of them gave way and just lie like this. So when my people got there, they still found that those who are still living there. So how can you now say there's no poverty in my area? We have it plenty. But going back to what Oga from the private sector was saying, that at times when you want to give anything to the community, let it be that those things that will impact their life positively, not just something you feel they will need. If you feel that this is what you want to give to them, and they don't need it, it will be useless. That just the main issue there.
All right. Thank you very much. Need assessment is very key. But another angle we want to look at is one thing for funds to come. But could the issue of the bill that has not been passed, could it be a major reason why companies don't even want to give their money? Because I'm thinking, if I have 10 million naira to give, there's no bill, or like they said, code of conduct, covering this. My money can go to anybody and nobody will be accountable. So the issue of bill, has it been able to help your practice, maybe from the social welfare office? The issue of this bill, has it hindered your service, or people who are saying, what's your own? Why are you involved in this matter? Why are you supposed to be here? Sometimes you watch this film. police will be fighting, maybe one metro, maybe a metro will be fighting with federal, all those kind of things. So is there a way whereby you feel the
Wow. I want to say that you are hitting a nail on the head. I want to encourage all social workers that must come together to promote, to sing aloud the need for this very bill to be passed. Very, very important. Having said that, somebody might say, why the bill? Every profession is the creation of the law. Therefore, it is very, very important for social workers to also be professionally licensed, professionally recognized by every government. And it will also enable practitioners to be accountable. However, in Lagos State, we have social workers, social welfare officers, so many of us, irrespective of the bill, doing their work, rendering services to the people, because the essence of government is service to the people. So I want to say that the bill is a thing that needs to be addressed by the federal government, by the national assemblies. So we are not going to stop shouting, encouraging the leaders we voted for, and show them the need for this bill to be passed. Actually, if this bill is passed, the profession, the face of the profession will totally change. And government from every stages of government, the local government, the federal government, once this profession is recognized, they are liable. Every government are liable to make sure that the essence of assisting the people is about social services, which in Lagos State, we are doing without looking back. And we have to give kudos to the government, the team. If you look at the team of this present government, it's all about social services. It's all about serving the people. Therefore, I want to use the executives of NASoW at the federal government level, at the state government level, to do everything possible for us to make sure that this bill is passed, so that we can have our life, so that we can render our services without hindrance, and we can do so collectively. Hands must be on them.
I want to take note of that. You said you keep shouting, but could it be that the shouting is not what's needed? Maybe strategy. Maybe the person from the academic to tell us more about the curriculum. Do we have people that are very strategic? Because some of these things, governments, I don't know if they listen to shouting. Just like they're all shouting here. Maybe we've not been shouting. But from the academics, man, how is the curriculum like? Because we need social workers to be policy makers. Am I correct?
Very correct.
Yes. Social workers have to be policy makers. If, for example, I'm a social worker and I'm in the Senate, I must be able to know the principles and strategies of ensuring that policies are written. Paper and pen is written so that it don't just be shouting. But how is the curriculum like, and how is it going to help the bill to be pushed? Academic speaker.
Thank you so much, because it's an opportunity for us to air our view on the challenges confronting us as social work educators. The curriculum, initially, everybody teaches what they like. But since 2017, the NUC, National University Commission, had to put up the benchmark whereby we are teaching the same thing in all universities and polytechnics that offer social work programs. We have a benchmark now, BMAS, that you can't teach outside the polytechnics, so that we acquire the same knowledge. And not only that, social work is about theory and practice. We'll deal with the theory, while the professionals deal with the practice. But we also have challenge there too, in a situation whereby our social work students are being trained on the field by non-social workers. We see the situation whereby chemists were teaching our students, those that does not know anything about social work. So, as we are tidying up our own end in the academia, the NGOs, the agencies, the ministry should also be tidying up by not employing non-qualified social workers to be practicing social, to be rendering social work services. Because it gives our students serious challenge. Some people defer that, oh, these are students, they should buy me rice and buy me gold. That's not why they are there. They are there to acquire knowledge because it's about 50% affair. Today, I can categorically tell you that BMAS is what we are now, we use the same curriculum. In all universities are polytechnic now because it is regulated by NUC.
So how does that help? Policy
You see, I told you that social work is an emerging discipline. A lot of people do not even know what we are doing. They are social workers. We need to make noise. If not for this strike, we know we would have done better than this. And now we are even collaborating with NASoW. We want to be running some certificate courses for these non-social workers so that they can come for short courses, 3 months, 4 months, and at least have the basic knowledge of what it entails to be a social worker.
All right. That is great. I guess like we believe this area you are talking about is something that will be incorporated in the bill. So we having one of the members of Lagos representing in the bill dropped by Mr. Shodobi Michael to also intimate us on the level of the bill and the federal government. So Mr. Michael Shodobi, we know you are a member representing Lagos NASoW at the national level. Please can tell us the face of this bill and how it also affects all sectors as the discussion is going. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, so on the Nigeria Council for Social Work Bill, the bill is like a baby that is about to be given birth to, and some interest don't even want that baby to come to life. Talkers of the baby staying life. But nevertheless, we are not really relenting, we are not resting on our course. We are still putting our head. One thing I do like is that change is permanent. All other things are not permanent. And one thing I know is that you can only suppress an idea. You can't kill it. Never. The bill has gone to stay. We've been moving through it for some years now. Very soon it will come to light. And every social worker will be happy with it. Reasons for the bill are simple. If you call yourself a professional, there should be an enablement, which is an act, or what we call a law, that should back your profession. The essence of that bill is an enablement to say, okay, if you want to be or you want to practice as a social worker, these are the processes you must undergo. And for those who are certified as social workers, these are what you must do. Where you default on what you want to do, the bill provides for discipline. Also, the bill also provides for the administration of the council itself. That the council itself can realize funds on its own to be able to manage the regulatory body, which if the government enacts, meaning that we don't have to rely on government funding for the bill or for the enactment to be administered. With regards to what Dr. said, I want to compliment what Dr. said. We have been working in a collaborative manner with the University of Lagos, that is NASoW Lagos chapter. Very soon, like she said, those who don't have any form of certificate in social work, you have a good opportunity to have a certificate in social work, and from there you can also go further for diploma, for first degree, master's, PhD. Like she said, we need more social workers, but we need quality social workers. What I mean by quality is that we want our social workers to be bold, we want them to be confident, we want them to to really be able to demonstrate their skills. And for that, there's going to be training and there's going to be retraining. And basically, the training and retraining will be domiciled between NASoW and UNILAG and any other educational institution that is approved by NUC to award certificates in social work. So the bill is ongoing, like I said, very soon we will all smile. But for those who are practicing social work in their respective place of employment, you don't need to fear. Even when the bill is passed, there's a provision in the bill that says that after the endorsement of the bill by the president, all non-social workers will be given 5 good years to go and obtain a certificate in social work. I think that is fair enough. So it's a win-win for everybody. And even those who are looking at social work from afar, who are saying, and I did this, let me wait, let me see what's happening. By the time the bill is being appended to, those ones who will have the opportunity of going for training in social work and getting authentic certificates in social work that they can present outside, even outside the country, that will be acceptable by employers. So the bill is ongoing and there's no problem about that. Let me just give us a hint. I had a discussion on the bill with, I had a discussion on the bill with close staff of one of our senators on the bill. And I've been engaging the person, I've been engaging the senator, the person. We are working on it. But the problem, the challenge they have now is that there are hundreds of bills, hundreds, requiring budget attention. And we also have to do that in doing that. They also have to do their oversight responsibilities. That is, they need to supervise and monitor agencies and ministries under them. Then let's not forget, they are politicians. Election is right around the corner. So they are taking all those things, everything. So the bill will come out, definitely. And we are all going to be happy to buy. But I want us to do one thing. Let us be fair. Let us behave. And let us act as professionals that we are. Don't compromise. Don't do what? Don't compromise. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Thank
you. For that overview on the council bill ongoing at the National Assembly. We want to inform that we have some of our participants online. They are also ready to participate in talk in terms of questioning through our discussion. And as time goes on, we will be shifting our attention to them because they will have questions discussion. So as Mr. Shonureki said, we would like to know further from the social welfare unit sector how this bill, how is do we think we can leverage us now, even as this in the National Assembly? How do you think harmonizing it with our ethics? There are a lot of challenges that is facing us now. We are limited in terms of operation funding, assessment. There are levels of assessment that needs funding. So improve even in the team agenda is a social sector incline. So what is Lagos State doing before now and after?
I always make reference to the fact that social work practice in Nigeria is about Lagos. Because it is Lagos that we find most of these social problems we are talking about. Is it from unemployment, child abuse, sexual abuse? Turn on your radios to find out that many of them are in Lagos. And the question you may want to ask is why? Everybody wants to be in Lagos. Every Nigerian from the north, southeast wants to be in Lagos. without any corresponding means of livelihood. That's why you find so many children on the streets, you find so many beggars on the street, and government on a daily basis, through rescue units, for example, taking up people, people from the street to a particular home in Ikorodu. Now let me cite an example. In Ikorodu Rehabilitation Center, Majidu, we're having close to over 1,000 people who will be eating on a daily basis, who will be clothing on a daily basis, who will be enjoying other social services on a daily basis on the account of the government. This example is just to tell you that Lagos is overwhelmed in comparison to other states. So, like the question you asked, what are we doing? We are doing enough. We are doing more. We need to do more. And we also need to sensitize other social workers from the federations in other states that other states also should be alive to their responsibilities. Lagos State is carrying so many crosses from the north. You go to Majidu, look at the category of persons that are there. Many of them are not Lagosian. Many of them are not from the southwest. Many of them, bulk of them are from the northern region. What are other states doing to take care of their people? So a social welfare workers throughout the federation need to ginger their government, put support and advocacy in place to make sure that where are we living? What's the kind of guidance about the people? So let me round up by saying that Lagos State is doing enough. We are going to do more, but every hands must be on deck. Every state must be aligned to their responsibilities for all Nigerians to be able to live without constituting nuisance. Thank you.
Lagos is doing, and they are doing more, and more is still expected. I believe in the social or in the community sector. So I believe, like you said, that what are other states doing? I would like to also want to ask, what are other sectors in the community to also ameliorate or reduce funding is part of it. You mentioned that. We also want to know the other areas that is making the shortcoming for this. So other participants can also read that question.
Sorry, so before you go, maybe we should just let participants ask 1 or 2 questions so they can answer the questions. You can have like 2 or 3 questions, so answer them all.
Thank you, sir. This is to the welfare officer. Sir, from your last point you just made, I was just pressing in my heart. Yes, Lagos is carrying so much burden of other states. Now, my question is there no form of collaboration with Lagos State and the states and the states of these people, and then maybe the social welfare in their states? Is there any form of collaboration, any form of partnership, so that they too can take responsibility? Are these people aware that their citizens are here and are constituting a burden to this state? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have more questions. Questions? Okay. Another question.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, good afternoon. It has to do with securing the president's consent in terms of the professionalization of the social work bill. I believe politically there's room for lobbying. Maybe we should work with this as a strategy in making this realization.
Questions? Online questions. Who is handling the online? Okay. You have a question. Yes, collaboration. that person is going to the person social work, strategy, lobbying. You take that.
Okay, I want to thank
Mr. Holoko.
Okay, Mr. Holoko, thanks for that suggestion. It's not only lobbying alone. We are also doing advocacy. What we are doing here is also advocacy. It's one of our strategies, advocacy. And in the course of the celebration of social work week, we are also going to do a work for life. And it is also a kind of advocacy for social work. I can assure you that my discussion with the VA to the legislative member is part of the lobbying procedure. And you know, I mentioned that as social workers, we should not compromise. And part of what I meant, see, I like talking in parables and in summary. What I meant by one of those things about compromises is that if you say because you want to lobby, you go and bribe, or you go and give in to something you ought not to, then you're no longer a social worker. Like I said, an idea that is good, that is beneficial, people can only suppress it, but the idea is still see the light of the day. There are many pushbacks from some quarters. Like I said, there are some pushback from some quarters, but at the end of it all, the bill is going to see the light of the day. We are lobbying, we are doing necessary things we ought to do, man to man, you know, family to family, village to village contact. We are doing it. But you see, we don't have to be explaining in details into our movement for this and this and this is what we have done so far. So that is why I summarized it and said that we can't compromise as social workers. This is a bill not for my own personal sake, not for your own personal sake, it's for the future of Nigeria. Most of the problems we're having now is because there is no bill for social work practice. Most of the issues, and I can assure you that the day the bill sees the light of the day, most of these problems will be a thing of the past. I can assure you, there will be a thing because there will be a think tank team that will now have an engagement with federal government and the state governments and draw out the problems with statistics. These are the problems, these are the solutions. Let's go this way, let's do it this way, and we begin to see the real change in itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another profession came to my mind. One of the things I'm talking about is about assets and interests. Where your interest lies. And I don't know if you agree with me, nothing is beyond money, right? Yes. If I'm a politician and I'm also a social worker, definitely that's where my interest lies. I will push more for social work. So I'll come 21. I hope the government said before. I can come out as a senator. This is the first female speaker. Yes. Are you acknowledging this? That will not even support.
So I don't want to take the shadow. Actually, that's one of the things that's been pushed. Especially an affirmation policy for the female gender. And you discover that those that are pushing this, the majority of them, you have social workers are not there. And the essence is that you see there are various ways of killing a bird. It's not by just using the gun to him and teach. So, like I said, it's not only lobbying. We are also using some strategy that I don't have the power to discuss it. So we will carry our female along. They will come forward, honorable members at the state level, at the national level. Fortunately, the new electoral act allows for independent candidates. So when we get to that bit, we'll see how we cross it.
Yeah. I'm excited. So, what can is it in response to it? Because we have two questions that
I use this opportunity to appreciate our speakers for the day. I have two questions. One is this. that the area of mental disability has not been given another great attention in Lagos State. And I don't know how we social workers can put together how the issue of substance abuse could be controlled in Lagos State, so that most of our youths that engage into it, you know, the rate of the abuse of substance will be reduced in Lagos State. How do we control, particularly to the education? You made us to understand that it was discovered that somebody who is not a professional was rendering services or social services to a student. How do we control that? Is it that somebody who is not a social worker should not even be employed in that department in the first place? Because teaching social work is not supposed to be a last resort for a teacher, but a professional to handle that things. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I have questions for the medical practitioner. I think most of us have questions, but let's quickly go back to him to answer the question for community medical social work.
Yes, I just want to say it here that the gentleman has for we have problem of funds at the community level. Yes, we do. If you can still remember, not quite long ago, we had a situation whereby almost every local government in the country, be it LG or SED, you know, the communities there were giving money, you know, to the tune of millions for them to develop their different communities. You know, I want to believe, Mr. Ashunubi, when this bill comes to law, you know, there will be a portion of it there that all these sports issuance of money to the communities will be permanent, so that even at the local level, you know, we will not have any option than to just follow suit. You know, now, you know, we always have this grant engaged to community development, but it has not been forthcoming. And who knows, my compare here, when you come to Senate, probably last time, having, you know, steady
Thank you very much. I believe your efforts of review will not go in vain. My question was being asked. You said Lagos is doing a lot and a lot, because just like one person is saying in the midst of young people, it's more like you can see. So what has been a collaborative effort between Lagos and other states so that the efforts can be felt?
Thank you. Let me say that the problem of federalism is a topic for another day. Now, Nigeria is a federation state that each state are expected to make provisions for their people. I will say, well, sometimes, somehow, reverse is the case. We discover that most of the people that are coming to Lagos seeking for employment, seeking for job, seeking for white-collar job and all that. Now, the question now is that, is there collaboration? Collaboration, yes. To what extent? That is the question. Let me give you an insight. There was a time before the COVID, Lagos State government officials were on the streets to take some of these children off the street because of the fear of the pandemic. And eventually, I was part of the persons that had to go to Oyo State, taking those children to Oyo State. After we have done profiling, asking questions about where they are from and all that. So many of those children were taken to other states. There are some states that almost refuse taking those children that belong to them. And some of these things that have been done in the past, that some states actually totally rejected their indigenous from their states.
So at the office of the social welfare level, what was their own part?
Yes, the social welfare, like I said, we are done. For example, if they are taking, imagine, for example, they identify where you are from, maybe certain states and all that. We write the social welfare department in that state, it's saying so number of people are on. What I would say is that the collaboration is not thick enough because some other states felt that they don't have anything to do with them. That is the truth. Yes, that is it. That is it. Are you trying to stigmatize? Are you trying to memorize their responsibilities? In collaboration, governors should be enlightened, should be awareness for them the need to take care of the people so that they will not find any means to go to a place where they become a kind of nuisance or indigent in that sense.
Thank you. I think leadership is recurring now. Maybe is it just NASoW? I won't say it's just NASoW Lagos. We do have people from other states here. Maybe NASoW national. Maybe NASoW national needs to do more. Just like when you have a father, if siblings are fighting, the father should call his siblings to order. So maybe like he said, it's a topic for another day, but I think maybe NASoW national should be able to coordinate the affairs. So move to the issue of formation, policy, funding is still based on the academics, and to ask a question about how to get lecturers. Like me, I'm still feeling back. I have master's up to education level, and I've been doing social work. I've been volunteering in my for like more than 10 years. Am I not qualified? Man, give me job.
Well, let me help him just to add points to what he has said. I conducted a study in Lagos about street trading, and I disseminated the findings. And one of my major recommendations was that at the level of NGS, Nigerian government, governors of forum, I don't think it should be only political or who become to party chairperson. Because Lagos State is overwhelmed. There's no doubt about that. And I said it there that Lagos State should play the big brother's role by actually releasing the template that is working for them to other state governments, so that migration to Lagos State will be relieved. But rather than this governor standing up to their responsibility, they be whipping up some ethnic sentiments and all the rest, which is it's not acceptable. You are governing, you are a governor to govern and provide a meaningful existence for your citizens. But in a situation whereby at the level of Lagos they've been overwhelmed and they are trying to return to base, or there will be a lot of meaning reading into it, as in being interpreted into it, which is not acceptable. Our politicians should just rise up to the responsibility of rendering social services. Man, you said something, man, about the idea that nurse qualified social workers training our students during free work, that are they not entitled to be employed? I'm not saying they shouldn't be employed, but they should not be employed in a unit or a department or a ministry or an agency that is social work related, because they don't have the skill to train social workers. They don't have that. That's what I'm saying. And that's why we are having an MOU between NASoW and my department of social work in Union Lab that will be training them for small certificate courses for those that are already in the system, in the Ministry of Social Welfare, to come and be acquiring knowledge in social work. The chemist deals with inanimate objects. We deal with human needs. You deal with stimuli in the lab, but we are dealing with complex people that are capable of reasoning and changing whatever they've said before or whatever is happening to them. That is it.
So am I qualified? Before it gets the medical, it seems that because of the problem I saw in the bill, the funding, the leadership, it seems people of the
and even the bill. Most of our legislators, they don't even do anything about social work. So we need to actually improve on our advocacy for them to know what is social work. 20 years ago, there was nothing like terrorism, there was nothing like ritual, or there was nothing like banditry, there was nothing like all this drug addiction.
But today we are having them and we have to tackle them. Is that bill that will help us to do this mess? They don't know anything about social work. It's not economics, it's not political science, it's not psychology or accounting, engineering. Social work is an emerging discipline that we need to make noise for people to know that every strata, every sector of the nation is anchored on social work profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give a questionnaire. Is it questionnaire you will call it? To know even the number of social workers I even know about the bill. Do you even know the content of the bill, social workers? Anybody, do you know the content of the bill? Should we do questionnaire for them? But it'll be very key that even social workers, they know the content of the bill. Because as a social worker, you are a moving advocate. You need to ask questions, people should ask what's the bill about, and you need to tell them one or two things. But if you are not saying one or two things, they will even doubt your profession or the authenticity of the bill. I don't know if I'm correct. So I just hope that at the end of the bill, the leadership that will change it. Like the third is people of the third sector, the third age. I think that's third life. University of the third age. I hope they are not neglected in the bill. I hope the bill caters for them too.
Yes. Everything you can think of, the elderly are equally enjoying it. Like I said earlier, we included them in the health scheme, Lagos State Health Scheme. Like in the local government, we move around, we collaborate with local government, and we sign our MOU. We sign MOU with the local government, and we are operating. Anything that is landing that we are aware of, we involve them. We make them to realize that at existing, it is not over until it is over. We make them realize that they can still live, they can still enjoy life, they can still do what others are doing. That is why we introduce lifelong learning. So, even with recreation centers, we are pleading that the local government should give us a space where we can have recreation center for them. Even old people's home in various local governments in Lagos State, we are advocating for it. And we are doing so many things. But come on, we cannot do it alone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And not the medical person. Someone asked a question. Social work, is it more of prevention or management? You know, relating to the people on the street that take drugs. And we have to now battle the team. With the little funds that is available. So should we say the work of social work of people?
Let me say, I'm not happy with what NASoW is doing with the age. Listen, when he was talking, I said, aha. The truth is that, let's face it, there's a lot of pressure that we need to mount. It's not about giving bribe. We need to mount pressure and intense pressure if you want change. If you want change, and to do that, you require a lot of logistics. Who's going to fund it? One of the things I would expect NASoW to is to gather social in the sector. How much do we need for this logistics? This is the amount of pressure. We need to bombard the media space. I mean, you take over the media space. costs you money. You lobby to an extent that, but to mount that amount of pressure, we will need a different strategy. Where he said, okay, it's good you visited the senator. You guys are doing a lot. I don't want to. I feel for them because I realize that you're asking a man to travel to Kano and give him money for passing. You understand? It is difficult. So one of the things ISWD NASoW is to gather different, we have different stakeholders here. But the question is, what do we need to do to apply pressure? Get in some social media experts, get in some lobbies. What do we need to do? And so the best time to do it is when they have election. That is the best time to do it. If you study, because at times I do that, you study what American social workers do. This is when they are more active, when there is election. This is when, as fact, we should thank God there's election. And this is when we now look at the capital. And because at that point, they begin to choose, if you want us to support you, what are you ready to give for social workers? We need to identify politicians that are for us and those that are not for us. Those that are for us, we give them our full backing so that you begin to count. Let me answer the question. Prevention. The truth is that in SUD, substance use disorder, social work is not only involved in prevention, also involved in treatment. We do both. And this is where training comes. If a social worker is well trained in the area of either prevention, you can start with your own clinic. You can have your own clinic and be treating patients. If a clinical social worker with the right training and certification, you can. But the truth is, we need to go strongly into this particular dimension. The challenge I've seen, because I've tried to encourage a lot of people to go, is that the fear of the money. Because expensive trainings, they are not that expensive, they are expensive. This is stages. So the training is available in a federal neuropsychiatric hospital. Yeah, I've attended part of that training. So the key thing is social workers need to move into that realm. Train and they can do it, not just the area of prevention. It's also the area of treatment. So both can work. Can you have your own? You mentioned something about those who have psychosis. It's the same thing. That's why if you go for training also and you have the requisite skill, you can also be involved in either having your own center, clinic, or so on, something like that. I know there was a time about some years ago, the social workers in Canada fought for the right to be therapists. You understand? And so presently now in Canada, in the US, you will see some who have been like social worker therapists. So you have so it's a specialty. So you can also have that, but it requires training. And I think that's one of the areas I'm sure wants to go into. So we need to build that capacity. We build that capacity, then you can stand as either a psychotherapist or whatever therapy you want to go for your patients. So a lot of this treatment is not only, it doesn't have to do with drugs. If you know with the area of mental, it's not just about drugs. There are other therapies that are involved in care. So as a social worker, if you are functioning, you do that which you can. You can also have a psychiatrist by your side or working with you, or refer to a psychiatrist when there's a need for therapy. But there are so many someone you can also. The fact is that let's face it, Nigeria is a quasi-federal state, it's not a federal. What we are facing now is we have full federalism. It comes with assets and what and liabilities. It's not functioning like that. Every part of Nigeria is highly graced. My first degree is in physical sciences, so I can tell you a lot of ignorance all over. But the challenge is that who is the owner of the federal government, right? So that means that they don't have the right to mine it for their benefit. So people are basically coming to Lagos mainly because of the economic benefits. So we need to have a system that is a true federal system. it will really help and reduce the pressure on us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another profession has come up for me. I want to study social work. For my issue, because we are seeing it. Because I'll take that to the student. What's the salary you are expecting? Is it because if it's about 200, you don't really want 500,000. I think you are in law, or in industry. Your one is in
Don't worry, what you call it?
I hear that some social workers after training on psychotherapy, what do you call it? Training on policy making, training on community engagement, and my salary is 20,000 naira. You understand? So, what's your expectation in terms of salary?
Well, when it comes to salary, personally, I haven't really thought about it. Well, an average social work student to tell you, I don't want to do social work in Nigeria because it is not lucrative. If you get to mention places like Canada, Australia, I would rather go there and start afresh. Get the degree afresh than do it here in Nigeria because first, it's not even recognized yet. Secondly, there's really no hope. I come and say I'm a social worker in here. So then thirdly, the salary involved is like Mommy said, it is our reward is in heaven. And many of us, most students that I know are not interested in the reward is in heaven thing. They want to get their pay right here. So the best thing is to go outside of the country.
I think I'll see to my law and politician. Let me use the 20,000 naira salary shower. That's the one question from online. Let's get.
Yes, a question. President, thank you very much for the time and for the impact. I'm really happy that I'm here today. So my question is to the medical director, sir, regarding the bill. Regarding the bill and all that. So, sir, you said you're not happy with how far NASoW is going and that they need to do more. Now, we acknowledge that NASoW is just an entity, and we have a lot of entities that can work with NASoW. NASoW is just, I call them now a tree, a forest, or a tree, and we need many trees to make a forest. So, sir, with your wealth of knowledge and exposure, in what way have you sold out some of these ideas to NASoW, or do you have any plan to really work with NASoW? These are 7 sectors seated here. What can we all do together to make sure that we bombard the media and create the advocacy and so please, what can you do? We need hands to be on them. NASoW cannot do it alone. We need people. We need all of us.
Okay, can you respond to that, sir? But I'm thinking of maybe becoming a journalist. Maybe that will be a profession. Maybe because I think in all this, journalism is missing, media is missing. So, sir, what do you have a response to that question?
Thank you. Some scripture says the king is as valuable as the subject. Number of subjects. NASoW is the king. Have you mobilized the subjects? Yeah, all these sectors are all under NASoW. Why I said I'm not, I don't feel the sense of urgency. Before when I was here, I was about to say one day. I said one day is not one day. What are we passing to the next generation? One day. The bill will be out one day. I've seen other sectors pursue their bill. In my few years in civil service, which are about 30 years, I've seen those who just came and they got their bill. They will work for it. They sweated, they worked for it, they pushed for it, they fought for it and they got it. The same National Assembly. It's not spirits that are there, they are human beings. But the key thing is one, we need to get, and they are not as much as, don't deceive, there are many, they are not many. They are fewer than we are in number. What we do need, see, that's why I said there has to be that audit. I expect that NASoW needs to call all the sectors. This is what we need. We need to achieve this. In normal planning, you have a time frame. You don't have a time frame for your plan. You don't have this nothing. You're wasting. Forever is forever. The reward is in heaven. You want to die. You want to suicide. So the first thing I expect that there should be a time frame. What is this year? We want it done this year. Not next year, not one day to be. Then now you have the time frame. Call the sectors. Get a planning committee. What will it take to push this pressure? We need this. We want social work bill to be the #1 bill in Nigeria. How can we do it? If you mention mutual experts, they will tell you. You need to do this. By the time they give you your bill, take it back to the sectors. This is what it will take for us to move from point A to point B. Oh yeah, put your pocket where your mouth is. And the pressure comes. The pressure comes. Even if you don't generate 100%, which is unlikely. But if you can generate a good number, let me say 60%, then you are talking about achieving the impact that it takes to move from point A to point B. You ask your question, who knows Mr. President? Who can get to his president? Who knows that? Begin to apply intense pressure, not just intense pressure. Who knows this Emir of Kano? Who knows the Sultan or so? Who knows the who knows this? Apply pressure all over Nigeria, you get what you want. And honestly, now we have not just in Lagos, there's ministries all over the state of the Federation of Social Workers. We have many, but we need to coordinate. And part of the thing we need to do going forward is to marshal clearly the benefits of this bill. I don't think we really understand the full benefits of this bill. Let me tell you, when I was younger, that was when the Pharmaceutical Council, their bill came out. Before that time, anybody can set up chemists. So I don't know. I think I'm still young. You can remember that time. Yeah. But after that council came up, all the chemists disappeared. What you now have is what? Pharmacy. Pharmacy, it's a big transition because any pharmacy will need a pharmacist, a qualified pharmacist. Aren't it? If we talk about job, that's job. You understand what I mean? So the impact will be for every social worker in every single sector. And let me be honest with you, really, you should not have a company employing more than about 500 people with social worker. Yeah. You understand me? Not just because you want to make job for a person, but because of the impact to have on society. The same thing with community development. You understand what I mean? So we're not just backing, we have the tools to back. So these are things we need. So the benefit is for all sectors, the benefit is for everybody. We all get the benefit massively too much. But the key thing is that we need to marshal out the benefits so that people will know clearly that this is where we're going. If people don't have an end, if they're not motivated to run, then we need to. Now, so I feel, because I've not seen it yet, a stronger. They're trying a lot. I feel for the executive because, like I said, they are trying to run to Kano with a bike. Bicycles, not even a bike. If you are on Canada, that's tough. Normally, it's better to go by head. But they need our support. But the key thing is let them cry for support. Let them mobilize for that support. And then let them set a time frame for this. They should set up a template. This talk of forever. I feel very sad though. Well, everybody, yes, I'm not a director, so I can resign and just say, okay, where am I going? But I feel for the younger ones. And I'm telling them forever, it should be something that is doing. If I've seen smaller people do it, and they don't have much strength, what of us that are not?
This is the counter for at the end of this curriculum, we have a repertoire that will serve as a communique and also be a strategy for the day. what Dr. have said is key.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm in social. Sorry, I'm
what Mr. Achadika said is a key, and how we work towards that is actually a process that will lead us to the head level. The communique is what we supposed to have. This is another new chapter. Looking towards our theme for the year, says co-building a new eco-social world, leaving no one behind. And if you want to stick on that, I think this is another step for us to take the board. Please, I would like to, okay, after this mark, there is a question online on our online platform by Mrs. Azel Joyce Hill. What is the future functioning structures for the blind? I think the question might be directed to me on the what is the future functioning structures for the blind? And maybe you talked about the elderly, the age, and they are trying to know what the future holds for the blind. If we have any strata or strategy for equipping the blind in terms of your advocacy or your intervention. Maybe you might have something to respond on that one.
Thank you. Actually, it's one of the challenges facing us in the universities. We have literally paid students that we don't have facilities for. Facilities to learn, like brain system, we don't have, except if the student can afford it. And if they cannot afford it, they have to come with whoever we have for them, whatever they have to take it. And it is not really easy for the visually impaired students. There are some students that need special education, there are some students that need some facilities to learn, and we make it easy for them. We are not yet there, and we need to do more. Because for the fact that they are visually impaired, do not actually deter them from getting to the peak of their career. We have a lot of people in the developed world that are even deaf and dumb, and they are Harvard products. Harvard, like having Gamma. She's deaf and dumb, but she's a product of Harvard. And she's the all deaf and dumb lawyer in the United States of America. So there's ability in their disability, and we should carry them along in whatever we are planning. As for the bill coming out, we have seen that we need it. It's an issue and it's a challenge for us. I think our annual dues is no more enough for us. Because all these people, I pity my brother here, all of them, because when you want to face this type of thing, it's money and salary, all things. If we need to charge or tax ourselves extra money in order for this bill to come out, please, I think we should subscribe to that. We should subscribe to that. We need to pay extra. All this our annual dues, our national budget, our national executive, they should do more. And they need money to do more. And the money will come from you and I. And we should not feign ignorance that we don't need money to push this bill. That we need money is not as if we are going there to bribe. They will need hotel, they will fly. They're not going to go there. They're bicycles. They're going to fly, they're going to lodge in hotels, they're going to think about that profession. And we want them to know. Like gender bill that has been shut down. When next they convene at the house now, they know the next thing, they know what to do. Because the ladies are not living their friends. Every day they are protesting them. So they are making them to realize that this bill must be passed. Thank you. I just want to make a reference to the question asked. What is the future for the visually impaired? Let me say that in Lagos State, we believe so much in the inclusiveness of everybody, carrying everybody along. There's a disability law passed in 2011, in which I believe very strongly that the visually impaired groups are part and parcel, and they have been, visiting, carrying them along. I will also make it known that, the NASoW is there for them. who is coordinating the activities that will enable government to, take part of what needed to be done for those category of people. Thank you.
All right, okay. Mr. Ashokun want to respond.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Mr. Jadika for his observations. Let me say one thing in the document. It says that only two are saying yes, the government like Doctor said, Dr. Emmanuel said, money is the driver of things. So we need money. And members can voluntarily give to the association towards that cause. Let me say that, just as Mr. Jadika said, some of the things that has been done to get the bill passed, some of those involved have been using their personal connection, their personal money, minus the one being dished out by the national budget. But like I said, we need to all rally around provide the financial muscle for us to be able to get things done speedily. The bill was once passed. It was passed, it was in 2017 or so. It was passed for the president to assent to it. But the Minister of Labour, and he's still the present Minister of Labour, and the Attorney General, they raised some issues in certain areas of the bill. It was premised on those issues they raised that the president didn't assent to it. So the president had to send the bill back to the National Assembly. So that's why the bill is presently back at the National Assembly. We will try to double up our efforts. But like Mr. Jadika said, all that should be on there. There should be no divergent interest or no divergent pursuit from all of us. Let us all put our hands together to be able to get it done. Then on the issue of one of our colleagues mentioned about mental disability, in social work, let's not use that word disability. It's mental challenge. And that is why on our own part, we need to help the Lagos State government to rename that unit or department as a department of special people or special affairs. Office of Disability is not acceptable. They are not disabled. So, ab initio, Lagos State government needs to change that name for it to achieve its purpose. It should be Office of Special People or Office of Special Needs. So please, let's put it there. There's nothing called disability. Office of Special Needs. That's why we come to play. That's why we need to tell them. We have social workers who know what ought to be. Just as the prison has been changed to correctional. So we don't have prison any longer. We have correctional. And they should begin to walk the talk. When you say it's correctional, they should work at correcting people there and not imprisoning them. Then one of my colleagues, Mr. Akela, was talking about the disbursement of grants. I think that has also been taken care by the bill, in the sense that the disbursement of grants will take another different shape when you have professionals handling it. And it will take a shape of a policy framework, which the professionals will make available. Policy framework, which each government, whether local, state, or federal, will have to abide with. With regards to salary in social work, when I had that, I was just smiling. Even now, let me say it, even now, those in the banking sector, if you have friends there, they will tell you that their salary is also nothing to take home. Now, because as we are talking, I'm sure by now the naira to $1 should be about 570 something. So now convert it to $1. That's that. You are going overseas, you are going to Australia, you are going to Canada. Fine. Even in Canada, the US, the social workers there are agitating that they are low paid. And so that some of the social workers there, they are even leaving the social work, looking for some other career in IT. Right as we are speaking, it is those that in IT that are really making the money. When I say IT, those that are in what do you call it, software development and so on and so on. So you see, this bill, if it is being signed by the president, social workers will use the knowledge of their IT to develop applications that they too will market, and they will earn more than even someone who is a banker. So it's not about thinking that social work. No. It's not like it doesn't work that way. Overseas, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They are least paid now because it's the IT that is ruling the world. So I want to encourage my sister. There are some areas that I can also cancel them and tell them that towards that we can still earn something better than even a teacher, something that will even make them be proud to be social workers. I can also discuss that with them. I have talked about the social work bill. You should try and testify for it. Then someone talked about the media. Yes, we have social workers in the media too. And the bill also takes care of social work practice in the media. At times you discover that, like Info FM, they talk about issues that are social work related. And you know, the ideas they bring are just that. So we need social workers that will do what? That will dominate that space. That will dominate that space and do the right thing. And for a social worker to do that space, journalists are earning as a social worker in the media field. You are a special person. Your allowance, your salary is going to be special. I can assure you of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your allowance, your remuneration will be well like that. Do you agree on that? After the bill, right? So I believe that I will be taken as part of the rapporteur for communicate. We also have some questions from one or two members. Okay, all right, please, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Over the years of studying social work, I realized how necessary and how much of a necessity social work is. As a matter of fact, it makes me realize or makes me feel that everyone needs to have an ideology of social work to actually like make change, like significant change in the society. My personal question is for the NGO founder. I was really excited to know that there are programs that exist that Dr. Ibadi actually mentioned, not to allow everyone to study for 4 years or 5 years to actually attain a particular basic knowledge of social work, but in 3 months, 5 months, you're good to go. So I'm really interested in knowing how flexible can this be? Why I'm asking is because I've had personal experience where I've been to maybe different places, and I'm realizing that maybe like an aged home, and the workers there are not. They just go there, okay, I need a job, hire me. But it's beyond just having a mission that you want to ensure that all the aged people are well taken care of. What about the workers there? What if they are not as genuine, they don't have that much patience, they don't exhibit all those traits that social workers should exhibit. So, and I mean, you can't tell everybody to go and learn 3 months in school to do social work or what social work entails. So I really wanted to be sure if they are maybe in programs, in trainings, you know, at work, to teach these people basic things on social work, because a lot of people do not have this patience or these attributes that social workers should have to take care of complex humans. Thank you.
My question actually you said something that the reason why the bill was not passed was because there were issues. And sharing what those issues were, what challenges they have with this, so that maybe something the house can proceed to. Just for us to be aware.
All right. To answer that, the question can be responded to at the group.
Well, I've been discussing on the ground, seeing people But thank God that timbers and calibers of social workers are here today. My colleagues, when they wanted to travel to UK, about 2018, to get the license is around 350K. Okay, 350K. But now, Naira. But now it's almost £1 million to get this UK license, social work license. And when you pay for it, you can be a school social worker, you can be an NGO, you can be an industrial social worker, you can be a care social worker. You just have to pay the money to just a body. And the money will be disseminated to all these branches. Now that we are fighting for you, yes, we are not yet won. We are won, but we don't have a council yet that can be collecting the money and be giving us just one license. We can say, okay, NASoW, we want some people to go and sit down in Abuja and be mounting pressure on these people. NASoW, we need 2 million from you. NGO, we need 2 million from you. Local government, we need 2 million from you. Who are the people that knows the area of Kano, that knows Oni of Ife, that knows Oshima way of Bini? Let everybody come together. Let's see people that know the president, that know the senators. Let's pay for their bill to go and sit down in hotel in Abuja and be going to the office every day. The bill will come out in few months. Thank you very much.
The pressure group, the media, data settings for the people, especially this you have a response to that, and also our colleague, my wife, and Mr. President, Mr. Lukosa.
What I will say is doctors, and that political kingdom is the people. Where we see many times, there was a time, one of the times I boarded aircraft. And I noticed the sign. There's this sign that is there. My first thought is, these people are wicked. I mean, they should have said, put your child first. Then later I understood. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of the next person? You may be struggling to take care of the next person and you die in the process. So social workers need to understand that. We are caring, we want to help, we're doing this, we are limited because we have not taken care of ourselves. And the first step of taking care of ourselves is to empower ourselves with the people. Then we have the capacity to do more. There are so many things that we go and we are still bleeding. We go and demand. You will say, I beg to demand, governor, this thing must be done. Because you know you have certain backings. Let me take for example. You sack all the doctors in Lagos. There was a governor that did that once. You understand? Where are you going to get the other ones? But if you sack all the social workers in Lagos, you can go to the street and employ everybody. They will not do a good job. Are you with me? They will claim their but the other provider, we sack them because you want to eat point and kill. You bring them. Do you understand? Because nobody's going to go to Abuja with some money, feed himself, go to I mean, transporting yourself to Ashukoro is not easy. And it's all on your expenses. Even if you can do it, how many people can do it? Look at Dr. Everybody was mentioning the women now. They are camped there at the National Assembly. Beating drum, shouting, like those men, if they go on these women, what do we do with them? Can you imagine if at that point in time, when our bill was rejected by Mr. President, we have applied that pressure? We would have come at the National Assembly. Nobody will say it because I watched the transcript. when they threw that bill away. As far as they are concerned, we don't exist. The only existence was the senator, that was the House of Rep of Sakwe was in that. We all hid behind a man, Abba. You understand? It's not done. It's not done. So the low down again and again and again is that we have to change our game. We can't be doing the same thing again and not get results and continue doing it. We have to change our game. Not just for ourselves, but for our clients. Our people are suffering. There are so many things we can do. There's so much. Go to Badia. Go to some provinces of Badia. There's so much community development can do. There were some places I went to an NGO, they were doing feed the poor and all those things. When I went to Badia, I said, it's not a place you should go in. Starting COVID there, when you go in there, you will be sick. And it's not for a positive, I mean, you will be depressed coming out. But imagine if community development were equipped. There's so much change they can demand. There's certain standards that they can insist that must be done. The same thing with all these first sectors of social work. So the key thing, like I said, is that for whatever to take, let's look understand that it's not a question of just being selfish. Even being altruistic. For our patients, for our clients, they need it. All we just be doing is just doing palliative. Like that, we're just palliative.
We rub mind on that, but there's nothing that actually comes free. Because it's part of our challenge that we don't even, at times, visiting the students that are on the field, we need bus, we need fueling, we need all sorts of logistics to be in place. And we are the same human, we are the same group that actually is taking care of the classrooms and the apps. And we conduct our research and publications are ongoing. So we are going to rub mind on that so that this in-service training that she raised is also part of it, not only in service. There's an aspect of social work that we are not actually conversant with in this part of the world, that is volunteering. We think that every services rendered must be paid for, not in social work. Actually, for some of our students that has gone abroad, such as Tomiwa mentioned, they were requesting from them how many hours of volunteering have you put into community services. They are asking, it's part of their form. We are the one writing, signing their reference letters, and this place is there. If that place is blank, you might not be admitted for their masters. And even NGOs over there now, since after COVID, NGOs over there are trying to recruit social workers from developing nations, whereby they will be domiciled in their countries, but be working for them. And they will be paid in foreign currencies. So it's not until you get there that you think you can make money with social work profession. I have some students now, in fact, I have a scientist now that wants to cross to a physicist that said he wants to volunteer. I said, volunteering physicist? How? I said he loves social work. I said, why didn't you come for that? Then you can come and start from 200 level, we'll get you for direct entry if your whole level requirement is okay with it. So we need this volunteering. Volunteering. When we were going on strike, I saw the strike coming and I told my students, don't go and be sleeping or be selling makeup or be selling whatever you are selling on the street. Go for volunteering. For as long as this strike will last, go for volunteering. And whatever knowledge you will acquire during those weeks or months of volunteering, you can't see to buy in Jubilee. And some of them are even online now. They are responding to that call.
volunteering. We should also promote that in social work. Our children that are not doing anything, like instead of them watching movies, let them follow us to our offices and be doing something. Thank you. Thank you.
Much, a lot has been said, although I kept hearing Canada and UK. So I can hear Canada and UK. And it's quite interesting because
and we believe that the pressure that is being needed, the advocacy that is being needed to all the at least noticed by them. So coming from Thursday, we believe there should be a phase whereby social workers are projecting, are pronouncing what we want. So the bill actualization starts from now again, and with our able officer here, Mr. Shonoke, they are the one that is pushing for the bill. And what he said, somebody said we should raise the dues. Are we in contention with that?
No. The first said each arm of social work should be levied to bring a box of center so that it can be used to push the bill. That can also be explored.
Of course. So we have to make a move. Like you said, some other clients, some other professions, they try, they make efforts, they put in their effort, both or whatever we want to call it. So let us as a social worker, you cannot call it that way, receive mega, but if we want this bill to come to light, we have to at least push more of our efforts. So I believe with this discussion today, we have been informed, we have digested, and we are able to know that our bill overall is at the highest phase, and our efforts, our pressure, we also push it further. So also other sectors, other areas are also being attended to. Whether we all know our areas, we all know where are we, we all know who what our challenges are and how to face our challenges, and who are we working to in terms of collaboration. We have this the medical social, the community, the social welfare, the NASoW, the educators, we have the NGOs, we have the private, and also the students. Let's start for ourselves. I'm very knowledgeable. This curriculum are great for the fact that we are knowledgeable, we are advancing, and we are also moving forward. So thank you very much for gracing this notable occasion for today to mark the 2022 Social Workers Day. We are delighted, we are going forward. And I believe my colleagues also have something to say before we call it a wrap, and the rapporteur will come for the committee.
No, I don't have much to say. Just know how to get to Canada.
Oh.
So thank you very much. I think from the discussion, we'll be able to get the articulations of recommendations and not just having passion. And zeal is different from skills. We have the zeal already. Let's put our skills in place. Let's get all hands on deck, especially the media. And in a serious note, I did a certificate course in journalism. I think I'm just everywhere. I'm too skilled. I'm very skilled. I did a certificate course in journalism, and I don't know whether that will take me. But I think I've just prepared myself as a senator. Maybe I need all these skills all together. So on the final note, I think on the absence of any other comments or recommendation, I don't know if we have any other thing to wrap up so we can move on to the next agenda, which is the national anthem. The closing. So I don't know if we have any closing remarks. Maybe 30 seconds each.
Yeah, just to address the issue of migrating to overseas. Your contemporaries that want to go to Canada and London. Assuming you were being paid $3,000 a month, and your house rent is $1,800, you are left with $1,200. You pay phone bill, water bill, electricity bill, internet bill, everything bill. That's why you see them working themselves out. That some of them might be engaged in about 2-3 works, jobs daily. They don't sleep. We don't do that. You get there, there's nothing like what that $1 will do for you. Here, $1 will still give you rice and beans as in at the rate of 5.70, you will still eat rice and beans with your family. And you'll be okay. You can be okay with $5 there. So for just some of you students that wants to constitute Andrew, wants to check out, you have to reconsider your stand, because there is I wasn't proud of my side as a Nigerian until I started traveling out. And once it is about a week or two for me to come back, there's nothing they are saying that I'm in fact, I canceled my local flight. I will board the bus so that I leave that country. Because you know the amount of money you went there with, and you spend the way you are spending within 2 months or 1 month, you have exhausted. You want to leave the place. So it is not as rosy as we think. Yes, when we hear the dollars, But then the dollars go for you. You cross the back. You cross the territory. Then you have your 10 seconds.
I want to appreciate God Almighty first, Lagos State government, and all the IGA, CPA that have been partnering with us. I also want to appreciate federal government that are now looking into the issue of elderly in the society, which they will be celebrating the elders on every 5th of October of each year. I just want to appreciate everyone and all individuals that have been putting hands together just for the elderly in our society not to suffer. We want to appreciate everyone. I also say thank you to NASoW and everyone here present. Thank you for hearing us.
Summarize by saying that all hands should be on deck, all resources should be made available for us to ensure not just the passage, the assent to the bill. Just as Mr. Jadika said, there are various ways. The entrance to the market is not just one single way. You have various ways. So you all get involved. And please, when we reach out to you or to your organization, kindly make yourself, kindly make your resources, financial and otherwise, available for the lobbying, for the passage and the assent to our bill. So that every one of us will definitely be happy for it. Thank you very much.
Firstly, I want to say thank you to NASoW Lagos for this opportunity. And I also want to beg NASoW Lagos to partner with NASoW's UNILAG. Let's ensure the students are carried along in the happenings of social work in Lagos State and even in Nigeria. Many students don't know of the bill because basically most of us are not even aware of social work. We just found ourselves there, either as the institution offered us the admission or we just picked it because we want to be in school. But on getting here, we realized that social work is actually a very interesting profession. So for students to know more of social work, I'm begging the NASoW Lagos executives to carry students along and put us through if there are volunteering opportunities, any opportunities at all to equip ourselves as students. We would be really appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to appeal to everyone. It's the next generation that is already knocking at the door. Let's be able to present something better. During my own time, I remember the first time NASoW tried to meet, that was in outside here. So that was many years ago, years. Until finally, we see NASoW stand in Lagos. It took a long time, but we should be able to present something better to the next generation. So, and it will cost us. There will be a pinch there. Let's not deceive ourselves. I think it will be worthwhile. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, I just want to add to what Mr. Shogun just said. That now let us take it that there is fire in the mountain as regards getting the bill and whatever that needs to be done. So we should take the action right from here now. Because by the time we now go back home and everybody just we will likely forget and before you know it, time will be into count. So whatever we need to do, just to get every sector involved, starting from now.
I will use the medium to appreciate every social workers toiling day and night to make life easier for the people. God will appreciate you. And let me also say that we should use every opportunity to develop our skills because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It has been a wonderful section. I want to thank all our panelists and participants. And as we just round up, in case you are not sure of my profession again, I know you are not sure. Okay, I'm Temitope Adeyemi. I am a trainer. I am a serial volunteer. I happen to be the president of Lions Club International, Anthony Mendenega. I'm also the vice chairman of the University of Lagos Alumni Association. I'm also the vice president of Youth Advancement Initiative. I can keep going on and on, but I don't want to take too much important. It's senator to be. Yes. My profession. Yeah, I did my first and second degree in education, curriculum theory. So I develop curriculums for organizations. I do train the trainer and a lot of things. I train all the NGOs too on different social and emotional intelligence skills. And the way my voice is sounding is as if I should add that I donate money to people, but
thank you very much. This has been wonderful. Having this 2022 Social Workers Day. It is so lovely seeing you, and to discussant, we say thank you very much. We thank for your knowledge. Your teaching is very key to us. We learned so very well in your previous speech. Thank you. My name is ISWD. I'm a social worker in Lagos State. I also am the national coordinator on the intervention, so secretary for the voting process, and also the state secretary of ASWD, that is Association of Autism and Operators in Nigeria. So you are most welcome. On this note, we would like to invite the program officer, Mrs. Olamide Fabio, for further information. So thank you very much.
NASoW, service to humanity. Thank you for your time. I believe we've all gained one or two things from today's colloquium, and I tell you that it is mind-blowing. At least I've been able to pick from the different sectors that we have, and it's gained more knowledge, and I'm happy to be here. So on the announcement, we have for tomorrow, we have our school outreach. And there's still room for people that want to join, depending on the area where you are. We have flyers for students. I've seen people from Ikorodu that have shown interest. Bukola is also, she lives in Ikorodu. And thank God, we have Mr. Sholubi also living in Ikorodu. So you can just connect. Mr. Victor too is here. Yes, he's at the back. So you guys can work together and move to Igbobo school. And also Miss Ogunlewe, Tola knows her. She has already gotten an approval. She has gone to the school to meet with them, and they told her there's no problem. Just it's a 20 to 30 minutes affair, just to tell them what social work is all about, what we do, where we can be found, then stimulate their interest in social work. What courses can they do in JAM? What subjects they can write, and what schools offer social work? Yes, okay. So they will tell us, okay, for more professional information.
For the new intakes,
subjects that they can take. Please listen for those going for
yes, for the listen at our head levels. If you want to write JAM and you want your first course to be social work, what is expected of the student? Is it supposed to be art class, commercial? Let's go to subject here on the website.
It's a combination of arts and
okay.
Because we must have at least one art subject and social science subject. That is commercial, like commerce, economics, government, civic education, English and math compulsory. Because it's not science related. With science, there are a lot of students that are admitted in entrance examination, but they were not ready. They were not distributed from their own. Some of them did sign and that social work training. So most of them were not able to admit. So they were not going back to write there. If they were at least one science subject like biology, not that. Thank you very much. Okay, so we know what subjects to tell the children now on how to get into the university. So just to stimulate their interest, tell them where they can work. And peradventure they are going through one challenge or the other, you can help them. Okay, these are the services we render. If you need social help, on the flyer we have numbers. And if they don't want the number, you can give them your question, then help refer to the right channel. So that is for tomorrow. Then please endeavor to take pictures. Please endeavor to take pictures with the school of the children, if it is allowed, but endeavor to take pictures with the group you're going with. And please wear your NASoW shirt so that they can take us more serious. Let's be on our uniform. Then for Thursday, let's remember it's our awareness walk. We're starting from Ikeja under bridge, 7 a.m. to walk down to Alausa, Ministry of Youth and Social Development, Ministry of Local Government. Then we gather, take pictures, and head back to our various destinations. So thank you very much. We hope to see you. Please let's come out. Then on Thursday, tomorrow, the schools, you have to meet 9:30, but mainly 10 into the school. You have just 30 minutes to 40 minutes to talk to the children on what social work is all about. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's all rise for the second stanza of the national. On national anthem. Thank you. Okay, let's go. All of creation, there is a noble cause. Guide our leaders rise, help my youth the truth to know. In all to grow and be just and true. Great lofty heights are set to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you very much for coming. Please let's walk, let's get to know each other. Let's dance. Okay, Canada, who is your
Welcome, sir.
By now. Don't go through this.